The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. What? It's 316 day. What? It's new league year day. What? This show begins now. Yeah. What to talk about? Obviously, it's 316 day. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah. What? A lot of beers being drank, obviously, just because a lot of people are alcoholics. But also, in a shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin, go ahead and self-cheers yourself. Chug a couple of those because we are in a beautiful time. A sport began last night in a play-in game at the University of Dayton. A sport in which we all gamble on and know fucking nothing about. But it is electrifying. Indiana moves on. Texas Southern moves on in an upset in the hammer down world that none of us could have seen coming. Tonight, 2 more games. The actual tournament begins tomorrow. Today, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Hawaii time. Every team in the NFL has to have their salary cap in proper order. So look for some players to get cut today. Look for some plays to get new deals today. Look for new negotiations. There's still top free agents available out there. Baker Mayfield wants to come to the Colts.
Whoa.
Said a guy we never heard of, but fucking everybody's running with it. So shout out to that guy, Tony Pauline. Pro Football Network is reporting that Baker Mayfield wants to come to the Indianapolis Colts. This comes one day after he wrote in his notes section a thank you to Cleveland. I gave you my all Cleveland and probably moving on from Cleveland, which is fascinating because everybody's talking about the Deshaun Watson situation in Houston. Cleveland met with Deshaun yesterday. They said the meeting went well from inside sources. Does that mean Deshaun's going to Cleveland, Baker's coming to Indy, and what does Houston get in return? Who knows? Today, Deshaun Watson meets with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, I guess, are ready to have a full pitch deck presentation for why Atlanta is the right place for him to waive his no trade clause and go back home. This comes after Deshaun Watson allegedly reached out to the Atlanta Falcons and said, hey, how about you guys? Everybody else in the NFC South wants me. Why not you guys? That would mean what? Matt Ryan comes to the Colts then? This is what's being linked in there. The Colts are kind of just in limbo, waiting on Deshaun Watson to make a decision, and also in limbo because I don't think they want to spend any of their fucking money. Nope. There's a lot that can happen today. We will chat about it all. Hopefully we'll have your phone calls as well on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Cannot wait to chat with you. Remember, when you get on the air, don't say anything fucking stupid. I mean, we say stupid stuff all the time. You get it, though. We're a welcoming place, a happy place, a celebratory place. Join our phone lines. Make the show better. Can't wait to chat with you. Also today, TJ Lang will be joining us.
Okay.
TJ Lang. Tej Lang.
Big Tej.
Formerly of the Packers and the Lions, I believe. A Detroit native. Loves the Red Wings, so he's obviously a doofus when it comes to hockey talk.
Yeah. Sure.
Can't wait to chat with him about that. He uninvited me to a Red Wings game this season on Twitter. I was invited, then uninvited. Can't wait to chat with him. He's an electric factory and hilarious, and he's been in the free agency process. I can't wait to get his kind of, vision on how this is all going because there's still a lot of big names left on the board. Will those names wait until after the draft to sign because they don't know what teams are going to do whenever it comes to 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds getting drafted to their team? Do they want to sign somewhere where they're potentially going to have competition or not a good roster? And how will the Colts sign anybody? And I know this is all coming back to the Colts. We don't have a fucking quarterback. So nobody's going to want to sign. I mean, Chandler Jones still out there. Stephon Gilmore still out there. Armstead still out there. I mean, there is massive names teams, and there's only more getting added to it. Austin Hooper is about to get released from the Cleveland Browns. He's a great tight end. Odell Beckham Jr. is still out there. Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, Tyrann Mathieu, who is at Disneyland in LA right now. What does that mean? He's still out there. There's still a lot of players that can make a lot of teams much better. The Colts hopefully will get active, and hopefully the team that you're rooting for will do the same damn thing. What a time to be alive. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. Today's 316 Day. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, the Toxic Table. It's a great day to be alive, isn't it, Ty?
It is an absolutely great day to be alive. Like I said, very excited for this year's March Madness. Hawks are flying very high right now.
Until they're not, though.
Until they're not. But this team, they do feel different, but that's beside the point. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Packers, 6.9 over the cap right now, so kind of interested to see what they do today to kind of shore up that and everything. But Raj is coming back. Devontae is going to get handled. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Like, well, I mean, it's
hey, life
great
is
time
good.
to be alive.
Life is good. Devontae might not get handled, by the way. That sounds like something you maybe just kind of breezing over.
July.
Just like that creek that flooded in your backyard that you had to shovel out this morning.
Yeah.
Feels like you're just kind of overlooking these things.
That's right.
And that's the Devontae thing is a very real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not playing on the franchise tag, he said. What ripple effects does that have? Is there going to be a team that says, okay, sign it, we'll pick up the franchise tag, go ahead and trade us over there? Will they want to work out a long-term deal? How will they be able to do it while they still try to manipulate the salary cap? And SpoTrack is a great website. I don't think I know that. Is the guy's name Spo?
Mr. Track?
It makes sense. Spo,
Yeah,
Spo.
Spot.
Last name Track.
Spot Rack?
Because it'd be like Sport Contract would make sense for
Right,
SpoTrack,
sure,
but
yeah.
I didn't know if his name also was in tune with that.
Yeah, no, I just assumed his last name was SpoTrack as well.
Yeah,
And
like
SpoTrack?
a singer whose name is Melody.
Bingo.
Like I didn't know if this was actually Mr. SpoTrack's calling. And it just, yeah, maybe his name is SpoTrack. Whatever. He tweeted, the salary cap isn't fake, but it's mighty fluid. I would like to correct Mr. SpoTrack, who has definitely dedicated his entire life to contracts. The salary cap is fake.
Very much so.
It is not real. Teams can do whatever the fuck they want. The Saints were able to free up $80 million. I think there was $71 million over the cap just a few weeks ago. They were able to free up $80 million in cap space over the last few weeks without cutting anybody. So they just literally redid all the contracts, signing bonuses, kicked the can down the road. Now Dennis Allen with a new team is able to become, proper by 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of penalties that come, draft picks, there's other fines that get weighed in if you don't have your salary cap in order by the new league year that starts at 4 o'clock. So congrats to the Saints for being able to do that. But also when you start looking around at other teams who have a lot of money, and they also have a lot of guys locked in long term, like the Colts, for instance. And this is all coming back to the Colts. They have $54 million. They could have $90 million if they wanted to.
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner's locked in long term. Darius Leonard's locked in long term. Kenny Moore's locked in long term. Ryan Kelly's locked in long term. I would assume if you restructured those 4 contracts, you could free up another $20 to $30 million.
Probably.
They could literally do whatever the fuck they wanted, but it's not just them. Look at all these teams over here that have any money. There's an ability to re-sign and redo all the contracts to make any type of money that you want. So all of those free agents that are out there are available to be had by every team in the NFL if they really wanted to. And that's the modern world that we're living in. Speaking of, the New England Patriots are just getting rid of players.
Well,
A lot of them.
Hey, you want to go play with Tom Brady? Fuck you, Shaq Mason. Get out of here. Get rid of the guard. See ya. We're going down to Georgia's Pro Day. We'll replace all of you. We got a young quarterback. We're in the Buffalo Bills division. We don't care about anybody. J.C. Jackson, ball hawk. People are calling him the new Revis Island. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Stephon Gilmore. Oh, you want to make money? You want to get paid for what you do better than everybody? Get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
Kyle Van Noy, get the fuck out of here.
Don't need it.
What's going on in New England? Is this a rebuild over there? What is going on up there?
I don't think it's a
I saw
rebuild.
Bill Belichick and Matthew Patricia standing side by side. Patricia, the future GM, Bill Belichick, the current GM and head coach. What are they thinking? They going younger, cheaper, faster? What do you think they got going on?
Always trying to get younger and cheaper. And all we've heard this entire time since the combine is, hey, this is a very deep O-line, D-line draft. You're probably going to be able to get guys in the 3rd round who can come in right away and make an impact. Shaq Mason stinks to lose. There's still some rumors around that the Patriots are looking to acquire L. Collins, I believe, from the Cowboys. Little expensive, but also if it's going to take, that 5th-round pick from Tampa Bay, swap that for a tackle, what you need. You need good tackles in this league. You know that more than anybody.
Yeah, especially Mac Jones, because although he did have a second pro day where he was a little bit nimble and he did the gritty and everything that, he will eat some helmets if he's just chilling in that pocket. Because guess what? Just like Kurt Warner at Northern Iowa, he sits in that pocket.
That's right. I mean, Randy Gregory, if you remember from Dallas, when we played Dallas, Randy Gregory took Mac Jones' head off coming around the corner. He actually ended up fumbling. But you know what he did? He popped right back up. He went right back out on that field. He didn't miss one goddamn snap. I'm not that worried about
Why don't you guys trade away Mac Jones?
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
To the Colts.
J.C. Jackson, to the Colts.
Here we go.
That would
Give
be
us
sweet.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Give us Mac Jones.
For what? What do you got a 1st-round pick this year? Well, something like that. Maybe a 1st-round pick this year. Maybe
how about our 1st-round pick, too, the one that you give up whenever you say if a guy plays good, you assume it's going to be late?
Yeah.
Didn't even make the playoffs.
No, it was a
so
top
it's actually
15.
a pretty good
very
pretty good draft pick.
Yeah, unbelievable. I believe the Eagles are picking at 15 because that was the spot you guys were at.
I think they're back-to-back, actually.
Yeah, I think back to back.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's football. You still got so much money left. You still can sign guys. Armstead probably off the board now, but hey.
Why?
Oh, because if Deshaun goes to New Orleans.
He's not going to New Orleans. He is not going to New Orleans.
Why not?
Because I feel like Deshaun, this is me on 3/16 day.
What?
Saying Deshaun's going to Atlanta.
I think so, too.
Deshaun reached out to Atlanta. It's his home where he's from. Atlanta is like putting together an entire pitch deck. Now, is this because it was said by the other Panthers and the Saints that the Falcons aren't actually interested? That was the smear campaign that was happening. The Falcons aren't actually interested. They're just getting in here to try to run up the numbers so that we get fucked because we're in a division. Which, by the way, good chess play by Artie Smith, whose dad is a Marine. So that'd be good, next level play by Artie Smith and them. But all the things we're hearing, Deshaun Watson was a ball boy as a child for the Atlanta Falcons. The Blank family loves Deshaun Watson. They're actually going full steam ahead and trying to get Deshaun back to Atlanta, especially because in that division, the Atlanta Falcons have kind of been overlooked for the last few years. They got that new butthole stadium that they're going to continue to try to fill up for a long time. Deshaun's electrifying with what that team was able to accomplish last year with $40 million to Matt Ryan, first-year coach, first-year coordinators, first-year everything. I mean, maybe they're thinking we're one player away from actually making a dent in the NFC South, and Deshaun Watson's a hell of a fucking ball player. So I think Atlanta's going all in. Now, does Deshaun go to New Orleans? I don't know why he would over Atlanta. What do you think?
Michael Thomas, Kamara, the Ramczyk, another really good alignment. I actually think he's going to go to Cleveland. I don't think he's going to go to the Saints, the Panthers.
That meeting went well on Tuesday.
That's right.
They have an unbelievable running game. They have a great O-line, even though they lost J.C. Treader, Amari Cooper's over there now, and Njoku. They just released Austin Hooper to clear $8 more million in cap space.
They could bring in Chandler Jones on the defensive side to make up for the Jadeveon Clowney miss.
Yeah.
Andrew Berry could really. There's teams right now, and the Browns are one of them, and I assume there's others that we are forgetting about, and we apologize. But there's teams right now who have money and the capability to upgrade their team and win in March. I know you can't win a Lombardi in March. I know that. But you can win a headline here in March and automatically improve your team vastly just by a couple deals being made. Feels like a lot of players, though, now are, kind of like, let me see. A lot more information, I think, in the players' minds before they go and decide to go somewhere. What's this place like? Is this going to end my career? What is the team like? What's the quarterback like? How about primetime games? Will they let me be me? What's the workload going to be like every single? I think all those things that maybe weren't thought about in the past by players whenever they were just offered contracts, they're like, yep, give me that, give me that. And the contracts, by the way, were always the fake number contracts, not the real contract, which I believe we're in the middle of a turning of the tide of how contracts
revolution almost
are being reported. Is that happening?
Hopefully.
Or?
I don't think so,
Pick
because
your
J.C.
moments.
Jackson was still reported much different than what his contract actually is.
Oh, yeah, for certain.
Exactly.
So,
Eventually, though.
What the fuck, by the way? Why does that happen? I got real beef with some of that shit.
Extenuating circumstances, apparently.
Well, Aaron,
Everybody has to see it, though. We can't be the only ones.
I don't know, because you see the headline on the bottom of a screen. It's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take that as gospel. That's what his contract is right there.
Yeah, but I think every contract they should report as what it's actually going to be.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, if you cure cancer, you get another $15 million. You score 10 touchdowns and cure COVID, alpha, beta, data.
That's right.
Which is on its way to. Is what potentially you cure that, you get another 15 million as well. It's just, I feel like we're in a much different era where people know more stuff. Players know more stuff, controlling more of their future, especially those OGs, Odell, Stephon, Chandler Jones, Armstead, Wagner, Hicks. I mean, those are all very experienced, Tyrann Matthew. Those are all very experienced, very accomplished players who have seen other vets in recent years pick and choose their place and go have a lot of success. Maybe not make as much money, but knowing that, money could come in other ways as well in the modern world that we're in with the modern gold rush on the internet. I feel like we're in a different era. So you got to be a team that is attractive for players. It's almost turning into like college recruiting. Like, hey, our team has this, 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 and this. And I believe the first this is our team has Russell Wilson. Our team has Aaron Rodgers. Our team has Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford. Those guys, Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Those are the guys that are leading off your recruiting pitch, I think. So if you're a team that doesn't have a quarterback, Colts, Browns currently.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they are on the outs, those two. And I don't know if it's going to be beef or anything, but it sounds like Baker's done and Cleveland's done with Baker. Yeah. And he wants to come to the Colts. All right, come on over. All right, just don't check out a hand of the ball to Jonathan Taylor. And also stay healthy. I know it's not your decision to do that, but we would like that. We don't have a fucking quarterback. But I think this is what it's become now, and that's why we're seeing guys maybe wait. I assume it's not teams waiting to offer Stephon Gilmore or Tyrann Mathieu or any of these guys. I assume it's the players deciding to.
Yeah, and you talk about guys having more information.
Tom Diggs, by the way, one hammer. Dahn. Cowboys.
Guys have more information and guys talk to guys, right? So you would think that Deshaun probably talked to Odell and Jarvis about Cleveland, and now that BRM put out that statement, who knows what's going to go on there? But would Deshaun go to Cleveland based on things that happened with Odell and Jarvis?
BRM. He did put Baker, Reagan, Mayfield.
Yeah, super serious. When the middle name's in there, super serious.
Or he killed a president.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's one or the other.
True.
Either super serious or murdered a president.
That's right.
Because there's always the middle name of the, what are this called?
John Wilkes.
Yeah, well, I know what you're talking
The people that kill presidents.
Do they do that?
Would-be assassin.
Yeah.
Do they do that so they don't confuse it with another person? Is that why they do that for killers?
I think it's just for I would assume it's the headline, John Wilkes Booth, this son of a bitch. I think it is. I think because it
sounds
gives
stronger
it
than John Booth.
Yeah, John Booth killed Lincoln. Well, Lincoln must have been the weakest guy of all time.
John Booth.
John Booth got him. No, it was John Wilkes Booth.
Sounds like an outlaw.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, by the way, I think he
it
was.
does.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
He actually was big time.
Yeah.
Broke his leg.
He did.
That fucking hotel or hospital they had our president.
That was not okay.
The bed was the size of this desk.
It was Mickey Mouse.
maybe.
Fucked up.
And I was just a child when I seen it, 6th grade field trip to Washington, D.C. But they were telling, this is the actual bed that Lincoln laid in. And all the kids are like, whoa. And I'm like, fucking small fucking bed for a president? What type of bullshit?
Well, he was
Must have hated
7'3", and the average height back then was 5'3", so.
So you're saying that was for, children.
Yeah, it was just a
Children's
bad
hospital.
situation.
Was it a hospital? I thought it was just a house. I thought it was just a building.
I think it was one of those,
It was a house.
Safe house?
Yeah, I think it was. I
Gotcha.
think there was a nurse or a doctor there. I think there was some sort of nurse or doctor.
Old school
there.
barbershop.
If your president's a
aunts.
big son of a bitch, then you make him a custom bed. You don't just.
But I
have
guess
this-
they didn't expect him
They
at that
weren't-
night at
they
the
weren't.
theater.
Yeah, they weren't expecting him to,
They didn't even have anybody open the door. They didn't even have anybody watching the door.
Unbelievable.
Think about that. Some point, there's this president just roaming around, not even anybody watching.
I believe it was. He was on a piss break, though.
The guy went pee, bad
Yeah.
bladder.
can't have it.
Bladder.
Is that where
People don't talk about that enough.
Secret Service started?
Speaking of not talking about something enough, I was going to go the entire show without mentioning how Zito looks, but it would be. I'd be doing everybody a
What are you talking
disservice.
about?
Stone Cold Zeke looks awesome.
Thank you,
Zeke,
guys.
can you stand up on that chair maybe so we can get the full? Somebody hold that chair down. Word.
I feel like Otis.
Zito watched a little Young Rock last night.
So good.
Had a little Terramana, some moose juice, and then put on his Stone Cold boots. It's 316 day. Young Rock last night, banger of an episode.
Really?
That's what I'm hearing.
Always.
Banger of an episode.
Because it doesn't sound like
At one point, he was fishing, gardening, mechanicking, and I think sewing. I'm not 100% sure.
I believe
Covering all the bases.
It was unbelievable. It was a great episode.
He's just a common man.
Season 2 is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That largemouth bass he did get was
50 pounder.
I mean, he was holding that thing.
50-pound bass.
Oh yeah, in his backyard.
They
In
did
his
not give-
backyard.
Excuse me, they did not. This is the.
That's
Danny
that would be
can't
that's
wait.
high. That was an high weight.
You can never tell.
I saw a 600-pounder on the internet this morning, so it's possible.
bass.
It was a fish.
Okay,
It's like a tuna.
it's like a whale.
It was in the river. I'll find it.
Are you a good fisherman, Ton? I stink.
We were the only two that. Well, you ended up catching one. I was the only one that didn't catch anything.
I
like
didn't
me and
catch one
Tonka.
either.
Oh, fishing's the best.
Took me for it, but I fished for an extra hour and a half after
I
everybody
tried
else
putting
stopped.
my head in the lake to find one.
That was
Didn't work.
awesome, by the way. Get rid of that hangover a little bit.
No, I've never fished in my life, actually.
Yeah, me neither. We grew up like crick boys. My dad
Yeah.
loves it, and I just never got into it.
You're
I
a
guess
lake guy now, though. So you're going to be fishing all summer.
Yeah.
No, they said E. coli in my leg's too strong. I shouldn't even touch the water. I'm telling you, I got a fucking alert that said,
I
"Don't even
told you
think
that
about
lake was rotten.
What's that all about?"
Oh, it's a good lake, dude.
Tim got snorkeling stuff to go in that lake. I said, "Tim, I just got an alert not to touch the water." He's like, "It don't mean nothing to me." He's gonna be drinking that shit.
Also,
dude.
that's a heavy trafficked lake to be snorkeling in.
Tim ain't worried about nothing. His little ass is gonna be swimming around, snorkeling, inhaling the E. coli.
Yeah, I don't
Then a
know.
boat's coming.
A little
Taking
bit of
her-
E. coli is good for you, not a lot of it, though.
Tim's gonna drink it down, soak it up. They got a boat. They got a boat. Tim and Sal got a fucking boat. They're gonna be out on that lake all day, every day.
On a pontoon,
awesome.
or
Here comes Mitt. Mitt knows a little bit more about the water than us, I guess. Mitt, what's going on?
Dude, in high school, I swam in that lake a lot.
Jesus.
I know for a fact there's a lot of fish. It's stocked with fish. You can legally not eat those fish because they are poisonous. And yeah, that's a dirty lake.
Poisonous.
dude, you've been eating fucking fish out of the Allegheny and Mon for years.
I am
think you'll be
not.
all right.
I am not a fish eater, especially river fish. But I think I'm gonna stay just on my property.
Catch and release. Catch and release.
Yeah, for sure. But
Respect the fish.
you got to catch though first.
True.
My big thing is when I fish, they're just all released anyway.
We'll get you big net.
Yeah, well, that's what I used to catch baseballs with when I go into the stands. Caught Barry Bonds' home run ball right down the third baseline.
Hell yeah.
Walked out of it with one of those big old fishing nets. How you doing? Keep it moving. Let's get back to some football. I'm the fucking worst fisherman of all time, is all we're trying to say. The Rock is not, though. One cast he brought in
One catch.
last night, yeah.
Wow.
What?
It's incredible what he can do.
They didn't show his cast, though. I wish they would have shown, like, one of his casts, because I bet that big son of a bitch got
all the way across the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's,
might not have been
that's
big
literally all I do when I fish. It's just like, all right, are we casting or try to get this thing as far as possible?
There's a
And-
tree. I'll find it.
Yeah, well, not only tree, I've electrical wires.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I've caught my fair share of all those things.
Other people.
Yeah, I've hooked myself too. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Not
that's
fun.
tough.
The Rock caught a big fish
How
last night.
about Dewey beat up that guy last night?
Well, that was. I don't want no spoilers, but that was just.
Dewey's beating ass.
Hell yeah.
Well, of course, but the fantasy Dewey
okay.
at the moment.
Baby Dewey.
What he wanted to do. Oh. It's a fucking good episode. Just get, you hear me? Just watch it.
I will. I will.
And then I watched Texas Southern beat the shit out of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Had a rather handsome bet on Texas A&M Corpus Christi because that's what you do nowadays. These are the times where you bet blindly on children playing a sport you don't understand.
Hell yeah.
And the teams that are supposed to win rarely do. And the teams that are supposed to lose will somehow figure out a way to shoot like fucking Steph Curry. That's the madness of March. It's not anarchy. It's college basketball, says Rothstein, who was on CBS last night doing a great interview, give and take in there. But Gumpy has been primed for this moment, primed for these days, watching shitty college basketball all year.
season.
Yeah.
Were you surprised last night that your Texas A&M CC boys just laid a fucking egg, didn't score a basket for 6 minutes? It's tough to win a game when you don't score for 6 straight minutes. And also, the over still hits somehow. College basketball is the dumbest, but I can't wait to continue to gamble on it. Gumpy, are you going to be cold this March Madness? That's all I need to know. First game, you had a lock. I was like, who likes it? Gumpy? Who doesn't like it? Tone. Tone doesn't know shit. Gumpy does know. I'm going heavy on the Corpus Christi boys. And all of a sudden, there was a glass thing over the basket. Yeah. Even at the free throw line, they were airballing free throws and missing layups.
9 free throws.
What happened to these boys, Gump?
That one hurt my heart. Corpus Christi has been very good to us all season long. Unfortunately, went cold at the wrong time, my friend.
Well, you look amazing.
Yeah, it fits back there.
Who else do we like, Gump? Who do we like tonight?
I like Rutgers tonight.
There is a guy tonight.
All right.
You need to know about, okay?
All right.
His name's Peter Kiss.
Oh, yes.
He's from Bryant. He's the nation's leading scorer. And he is a very, very polarizing dude. Like,
what's he throw? Elbows, throw bows, yell at the refs?
He is, remember, what's his name from Ole Miss?
Marshall Henderson.
He's got that type of vibe.
Oh, really? We're pulling up from the logo and talking shit?
Talking shit to the fans.
He is talking shit
What's
to
his name?
Peter Kiss.
Is there an over-under for him on this?
I don't know if they have that for college kids or
I
not.
believe they do, though, because that was one of the boosts last night was for Trace Jackson.
Peter
Davis.
Kiss, total points, 25.5.
Yeah. That's what he averages a game, so.
And it's even money right now, 100 plus 100. You like him?
I mean, the guy.
You like him?
Oh, yeah. I'm taking that.
Gump, how do we feel?
I am unfortunately on Wright State money line. But me and Diggs have gone head-to-head in every game, it feels like, in the tournament so far. He is 2-0. I am 0-2. Diggs is hot. I am cold.
And you like Peter Kiss.
Right.
Yeah, but before last night, I was very cold, and Gumpy was hot as fuck. So.
Well, I don't need to hear that, okay? Right now, I don't need
You don't need
that.
him to win, though.
Peter Kiss.
You just need Peter Kiss to get buckets.
I wasn't talking about Pete either from a gambling angle. I'm just saying this guy is going to an electric watch.
Yeah, Brian is going all
Shout
the
out
way.
to Peter Kiss. Quick 2,000 on this guy.
Let's go. Let's go.
Peter Kiss. Talk your shit, Peter Kiss. Hey, now's the time, Peter Kiss. Nobody knew you existed till tonight, and guess what? They're in for a show.
Hell yeah.
Drop fucking 30 tonight, Peter Kiss.
Hell yeah.
Make it 40. Why not do Kyrie? Put 60 on these boys
Bingo.
tonight, Peter Kiss.
He's a baller.
He's been suspended a couple times for just like taunting and shit like that. So he's
How's his academics and all that stuff? Because that's what old Miss guy, right? He got kicked out of it for a couple of different situations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was about that life on and off the court.
Bingo.
What about Peter Kiss? Is he just a shit-talking, super competitive, uber competitive guy like
Yes.
Doug Flutie was in the Canadian Football League?
Yes.
Bingo.
I learned that last night. Dewey Johnson really made some waves when he showed up in the CFL.
Really?
He predicted 18-0 training
yeah.
camp as he brought that Miami swagger. And Doug
Who's he
Flutie.
playing for? Stampeders?
Yeah, he's playing for the Stampeders.
Calgary.
They just won the Grey Cup. Doug Flutie was 4'4" in the in Young Rock last night. Yeah, he was.
Just dunk on him
And
real
Jeff
quick.
Garcia.
Stan Peters had a run of great quarterbacks. Doug Flutie, Jeff Garcia, Elvis Gerback, Dave Dickinson. I mean, the Stampeders ran the CFL
What
for a
about
long
Trafolsky? Did
time.
he play for them?
Trafolsky was a blue bomber, my friend.
Of course.
Yeah, they missed him.
Still won the Grey Cup though. That guy.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Why isn't he a Colt? Fucking get Trafolsky.
He's a goddamn Miami Dolphin, baby.
Yeah.
That team stinks. They don't even know who their quarterback is down there. They're paying people more money to be backups to Tua, and then they're saying they like Tua. What's going on in
The
Miami?
Teddy Two Gloves tax. You got to pay to get him in the building.
All right, let's talk about some moves that were made yesterday in quarterback. Tyrod Taylor signs with the Giants, 2 years, $11 to $15 million. Allegedly, he is to be a high-end backup, but I think everybody on the internet's like, hey, Dabes, which is what he likes to be called. He doesn't like to be called coach. Dabes, which is Brian Daboll, who is the new head coach of the New York Giants. He said in a women's football conference that he does not like to be called coach. He likes to be called Dabes.
Okay.
Because he's one of the boys. Aaron Rodgers actually chatted about that, how in high school and college, you say coach, coach, coach. And then whenever you're in the NFL, it's like, hey, Matt, we need to do this because you're kind of co-workers. Dabes says Daniel Jones is a starter, I think, that Tyrod Taylor's the backup. But everybody around the internet's like, don't let fucking Tyrod Taylor heat up.
Yeah.
Don't let him get cooking. Who knows what they're going to do with Saquon Barkley? Allegedly, he's on a trade block. He's owed some money, and he has been injured. He's still a very highly sought-after running back, I'd assume, at this point.
Yeah.
I'd assume a lot of people in the NFL would still want him. But who knows what that team's going to look like. He's getting paid a little bit less money than Trubisky, who's at Pittsburgh, even though he's not a starter. And then who'd you guys sign down there in Miami that's getting paid more than Mitchell Trubisky to be the backup to Tua?
Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy Bridgewater is now down in Miami. The Indianapolis Colts still don't have a quarterback. Cleveland Browns appear to not have a quarterback, and we have no idea what Deshaun Watson's going to do. Joining us now is a man from Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Played for the Packers, played for the Lions, likes the Red Wings, speaks of their glory days fondly. Ladies and gentlemen, the hilarious internet human and real life human, TJ Lang.
Hey!
What's up, dude?
Why you got to bring up hockey, man?
Well, first of all, because That's Hockey Talk's on tonight, 8 o'clock, youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. With that being said, the Red Wings are dead, Teach. I don't want to get into it because it's the first day of the new league year in the NFL. You agree, I agree. Red Wings fucking stink, right?
It's a rebuild, all right? It's a rebuild. They've shown some promise, right? Couple young rookies. Foxy will tell you. Look, I just can't wait for Pittsburgh to fucking move to Boston or Providence, wherever the hell they're going to end up going. Whoa. Just get them out of Pittsburgh, please.
No, listen,
Thank you, TJ.
That is not how this works. That's not how this works.
Get 'em out.
You don't just start saying what everybody's saying about the Red Wings about any other team, okay? The Penguins are Pittsburgh squad. It is hockey time.
No.
All right, that's what Pittsburgh is.
God. You guys can't even come up with your own slogan. Hockey Town is Detroit, Michigan.
No, we fucking stole yours, dude. We came in
on the fucking show. Hockey Town is Detroit, Michigan.
No, we came in and we said, "What's your slogan? That's cute. You haven't won in 30 years. Give it to us." Hey, that's what we did. That's what the Pens do. Now, with that being said, I am hearing it's near the end for Sid and Gino and Lieutenant. And we are potentially staring down the doom days that Detroit has experienced for the last 30 fucking years.
Oh, no.
Anyways.
5 since the Pens beat them in the cup, actually.
Yeah, you guys have won one recently, and a lot of people in Detroit are letting me know that. Yeah, I don't think everybody in Detroit gets our hockey talk either, by the way, TJ.
Hey, that 08 Cup was super special, man. Winning up there in Pittsburgh. That banner looks really nice
Really
hanging
nice.
from the
My favorite
rafters
one,
at Little
actually.
Caesars
Yeah,
Arena.
Yeah, you're welcome for
Dust.
fucking Hosa, pal, too. I mean, we gave you Hosa to win that entire
about
thing.
the next year.
I am so
Hey,
sick of that.
happy St. Patty's Day Eve, by the way, man. Big day tomorrow. Huh?
Hey, it is a big day. What are you going to do? A little boozing? You still drink a little bit? What's your life like now? You're a retired man. What's life like on a day-to-day?
Yeah, I booze a little more than I probably should. Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Kids, kids
Right.
sports. That's about it, man. Trying to keep in touch with everything that's going on. But, yeah, I got to probably calm down a little bit with the booze. See, I need to get on your regimen, man. Some vitamins. Look at those pipes, bro.
Hey, Teach, thank you. I've been working over here. No, it's keto. It won't last past WrestleMania. I got to get in shape, though. I was in plumping season for like 4 or 5 years, and then once you just kind of cut it off, you'll be yoked as well, just a month or so of keto.
Yeah, I'm about 5 or 6 years in the plumping season, so hopefully the end's coming up soon.
Yeah, you're an offensive lineman, though. You had to be big body. You had to be big body. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the NFL. New league year happening. Packers still have to do like $6.9 million of salary cap gymnastics to get under the cap by 4 p.m. Eastern. Just what do you think about free agency as a whole? Do you think nowadays players are picking and choosing more than they used to? Because there's a lot of massive names that have not signed anywhere. Do you think that's because of teams? Do you think that's because of players? How do you think this free agency period is either the same or different from years past, TJ?
I think you still have the same, kind of 2 waves, right? The first wave being obviously starting Monday with the tampering period. I mean, deals are pretty much done at 12:01, a minute after that opens. You see a lot of younger players go around then. I think, that's what the combine's for. I mean, all these agents are gathering information. They're trying to figure out the market. They're trying to figure out which teams are going to be in play for their guys. A lot of deals are pretty much set kind of, after that period. And then you have right now where we're kind of sitting at, some of the veteran guys are still out there. Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, Chandler Jones, a lot of really good players that don't necessarily have to rush to go try to get the best contract they may want or may get. They have a choice of kind of sitting back, seeing how the chips fall with other free agent type guys. And, ultimately, I think it's just it's a different, kind of expectation and want for those 2 players. You get the young players that, see 50, 60, $70 million contracts, just want to jump on it right away. And then you see these older players that, money I'm sure is still a big part of a lot of their decisions, but they get a chance to kind of sit back and address, which teams have made a big impact in free agency, which teams do they think they can be a part of moving forward and compete for a championship. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to with a lot of these older guys because, 8-9-year veterans, you don't really see those guys just trying to sign those big money contracts. I mean, a lot of those players want to go to a team where they can compete on and hopefully end their career on a high note. So that was just, we're kind of getting at the end of that first wave of free agency. Everything right now kind of seems like it's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah,
most of that is just because those guys, a lot of these guys don't need to rush. I mean, shit, if I could go back, when I was a free agent, I probably would have waited till training camp, about week 2, week 3 of training camp.
Hey, how nice was that lockout? Hey, Teej, how nice was that lockout? That lockout year whenever there was no...
it's glorious.
Oh, dude, everybody just came back to training camp like 20, 30 pounds overweight. All right.
Oh, man.
Let's get into
and we were coming off of the Super Bowl win, too, in 2010 over there in Green Bay. So that was it was a hellacious summer, man. That was a lot of fun.
You're telling me I was in the substance of abuse program and that got put on that got put on hold for 100 and however many days that was. So I want, I was like, I'm going to go so hard that whenever I get back, whenever this thing starts and I start getting piss tested 8 times a month again, I'm not going to want to do anything. I did not expect it to be that long, Teej. I did not expect it to go that long, but I kept that promise to myself. How long did you play in the NFL?
I made it 10 years. Yeah.
That's a long time in the NFL, especially at offensive line. By the way, congrats. Anyway, Super Bowl.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, done good. You done good. But I think Aaron always talks about that group, that offensive line group, and you've talked about it before on here. What do you think it is about that Packers team and Aaron Rodgers more specifically that they're always going to be good? Like everybody knows that the Packers are always going to be good as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. Early exit this past year, 2 NFC championships before that. Everybody's wondering when they're going to take that big step. What do you think it is about the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers that they're always in contention? Is it just because he's a good quarterback, and is that all anybody's looking for?
I mean, 95% of it is probably because is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you got to check every single game, every single season that I was there for 8 years. I mean, you go in every single game expecting to win, and you have a shot in every single season to get to the Super Bowl. That's just how good Aaron is. But also, I think, look, in Green Bay, there's a different level of expectation. As soon as you come through the door, 10 wins isn't the expectation. A division title isn't the expectation. Making the playoffs isn't the expectation. The expectation is to win a Super Bowl. And being a young player, that kind of hits you right off the bat, man. I mean, it's like, shit, we're in here now. This is big-time football. There's no more good effort, good job. We got to win some games. But when you see you have Aaron Rodgers like that, it's so contagious to the rest of the group. Just elevates everybody else's game, right? Because you don't want to be the one guy that lets down the team. You don't want to be that one guy that lets down your position group from, getting over the hump, winning a game, whatever it might be. But yeah, look,
hey, Teej,
95% of it's Aaron Rodgers, man. He's just a special freaking dude.
Teej, I mentioned that with Tom Brady when he was a free agent. I was like, hey, listen, as somebody that got to watch when Peyton was in the building, as soon as a guy like Tom Brady shows up in your building, nobody wants to fuck up. That's not just like offensive line, punter, kicker. That's like laundry folks, equipment managers, athletic trainers. Like everybody's heightened. I'm not saying the Packers haven't been like that forever, but there's just levels to this shit. And I don't think that is talked about nearly enough.
No, it's not. And it honestly, I don't know how you win without it being that way. I don't know how you at least don't win championships without it being that way. And that's, for me, what's been so hard with Aaron Rodgers and why I think he ultimately decided to go back to Green Bay. Look, man, he's got to win another freaking Super Bowl, man. I mean, with how much talent he has, with how much talent they have on the team, and you look at some of the squads that we had, 2014 being a ridiculously talented team, lost an NFC Championship game. You look at what happened, the last 3 years. I mean, 2 more lost in the NFC Championship game last year. I thought they were the most talented team in the whole NFL. They just had a bad day against San Francisco at the wrong time. But look, you have guys like that. It just changes the complexity of the entire building. I mean, and not that it's adding, unnecessary stress or anything like that or unnecessary pressure where it doesn't need to be. But it really allows you to focus on one thing, and that's just being great, and that's winning freaking championships. Now, I know they haven't been able to do that over in Green Bay since 2010, which has been a travesty, but I would be shocked if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay without another title. I mean, that's just – I think that's got to be his ultimate motivation. I think for the other players on that team, they understand that too. Dave Bakhtiari, phenomenal player. You know, he came into 2014 or 13. We had a really good couple years, and he's never been there. But he understands how important it is not only for him to get to that Super Bowl and win one, but how important it is for Aaron to get to the Super Bowl and win one, for how much he's done for not only that organization, but everybody that's ever played with him, man. I think it's just he's got to win one, and I think they will. I really hope they do at least, because for him, nobody deserves it more than him, man, for what he's given to that organization and for 17, 18 years now, man. He's got to win one.
Tej, you're great on the internet streets, but, you know, all the people are going to attack you for complimenting Aaron like this. Mm-hmm. But whenever you start referencing, like, oh, 2000, yeah, hey, by the way, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel, too. It's like, oh, so I'm just supposed to sit here and let these doofuses just say whatever the fuck they want, like they have been for the last 15 years on this guy, and not stick up for him. But it feels like the narrative outside of his teammates and outside of Green Bay is so much different than what it is with his actual teammates. Now, granted, Greg Jennings, I don't know what happened between those two. I'm not going to ask. I assume something happened. Let's hope they put their swords down. And I don't think Aaron said anything about Greg, by the way. I think it's just a one-way street there. Who knows? How come you think it's so hard for some people to get past the initial thought that he's just the biggest piece of shit of all time, Aaron Rodgers? Why do you think it is like that? There's still people on the internet that act like that. Like, you're going to get attacked by them today for saying nobody deserves a Super Bowl more than Aaron. Like, well, what does that even mean, this guy? Like, literally, there's people that, like, hate him. I don't know why. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, I don't think.
I don't get it either. I mean, is there a difference between, you know, personal hate and professional hate? I mean, obviously I could see other teams and, you know, media writers from maybe Chicago or Minnesota. You know, there was already that example a couple months ago with the whole MVP voting. But I think a lot of the hate he gets is more professional hate. And look, that just comes with the territory. I mean, Tom Brady gets a lot of that too. Aaron Rodgers probably gets a little bit more, and I know this past season he got his fair share with everything that went on with the COVID and whatnot. But look, I think everywhere you go, I mean, look, he's been there 18 years now. Not every single person that's been in that locker room that leaves that locker room is going to come out of there with glowing reviews or, hey, this guy was my favorite or whatnot. You can't make everybody happy, especially if you're in that position as Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but you always have a couple bad apples. You mentioned Greg Jennings. There's been a couple other guys along the way that seem to kind of go out of their way to, you know, be negative whenever they can. I don't understand it. I don't ever know what really happened with a lot of those situations. To me, it just looks like a lot of bitterness that's just kind of piled up, and, you know, you give guys a platform and sometimes they stick their foot in their mouth. But with Aaron Rodgers, look, I think he is who he is. And that's, for me, that's what I like most about him. I mean, you know exactly what you're going to get from him every single day. You know he's going to be a consistent human being. If he disagrees with you or you disagree with him, you hash it out like men. There's no feuds. There's no, you know, kind of being a yes man, just whatever Aaron Rodgers, yeah, let's just agree with him. We've had our share of disagreements, but ultimately I think that's how respect grows in a locker room. And that's every locker room I've ever been in with him in the 8 years I was there. I mean, was it all, you know, roses and rainbows and happy? No, not all the time, but you hash it out like men, and you hash it out as friends. And that's something that, look, I think might be rare nowadays, because it's just a different breed of players. A lot of these kids coming out of college now, you know, the criticism, right, doesn't really sit well with a lot of these guys. They don't like being called out anymore like they used to. And that's why I think you've seen a little bit of an evolution with coaching. I mean, look, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are two of the more notorious kind of, you know, a-hole type coaching guys. Those guys are grandfathered in. They've won a lot of championships. If you're going to come out as a coach that hasn't done anything and try to be, you know, Mr. Asshole on the first day and a prick to all your players, that doesn't resonate anymore. It doesn't resonate. And you've seen it a lot in recent years with, you know, coaches that have come in and, I mean, not to throw anybody the bus, but Joe Judge kind of seems like that's how it was in New York. I mean, Matt Patricia certainly a little bit of that in Detroit as well. It just doesn't resonate with these players anymore. But as long as you have a leader and a veteran guy like Aaron Rodgers that's able to smooth everything out professionally and handle everything in a just respectful manner, I mean, that goes a long way in the locker room, and that just sets a tone for how players are supposed to act down the road.
I watched Adam Thielen. He has a podcast, and Kirk Cousins was on there, and they were talking about this one sideline clip where Kirk Cousins was like telling Adam, like, you gotta go. And Kirk was talking about how Thielen told him earlier in the game, hey, instead of running that at 7, I'm gonna run that like 13 or whatever. And Kirk described like, yeah, okay, well, you're gonna have to hurry the fuck up because Khalil Mack is trying to get me. And he then went on to say, like, that's why Adam Thielen's good though. We can have that disagreement on the sideline. He's emotionally intelligent, I believe is how Kirk described it, enough for us to get into it on the sideline and then move on. It feels like those days are past. It's a whole new generation. And not that everybody in the past loved being criticized by their coaches. I mean, there were some days where I was getting chewed out where I didn't love it. I was like, all right, I don't fucking love this. But then once you get better and you get over the hurdle, there's like a sense of like, hey, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like that is, it's just it's a different world now. It's wildly different, TJ. The boys have some questions for you, man.
What's up, fellas?
No, what were you going to say? You were going to say something good there? I don't know.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's just it's a different era, and people respond differently to hard coaching, criticism. I mean, look, we came in the league same time, 2009, and I mean, it's okay to be pissed off about that, but you got to use it as some sort of motivation. And I think there's just too many players now that instead of doing that, they just kind of hamper themselves, get down to the dumps, and, hey, I want to get traded. Hey, I want to go here. I don't want to play for this guy anymore. It's like, dude, it's NFL football, man. I mean, it's a high-pressure, stressful job. There's a lot of dudes out there that are competing for one spot on that team. And I just feel like it's just a bit of a different era of kids coming out of college these days.
Hey, we sound like old dudes in the front yard yelling, but it's real. Because the transfer portal is also lending into this, right? Guys don't like the way they're either the opportunity or how they're getting coached. And it's like, well, I'm out of here. I'm going somewhere else. And then there's like 2,000 kids in the portal, and then there's only 130 teams. And some of these kids are just sitting there. It's a different era. I understand. But also we got to find some grit in here a little bit too, because real life is going to, call on that at some point. Go ahead, Ty.
The Packers have to replace a bunch of guys on their O-line this year, and we've seen a lot of O-line movement already in free agency. And I don't know if you ever really had to deal with it where you have a bunch of new guys coming in like that, but how difficult is that when you have 3 new guys coming in on the offensive line in the offseason? And has there ever been a situation where oh, this guy's going to stink and this just isn't going to work out with what we have going on here?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to replace a high number like that. Obviously, you look at Green Bay, they lost, they released Billy Turner, Lucas Patrick, who was a starter for them, kind of on and off, who developed into a pretty good player, just signed with Chicago. Look, the good part about Green Bay is that, Elton Jenkins should be back next year. I know he tore his ACL kind of later in the midseason last year. He should be back. He's a really good player, but you're always looking for chemistry on the offensive line. You're always looking for continuity. And when you can replace one guy, remember 2014, we lost our center. We brought in Corey Linsley. He was a 5th-round draft pick, and he was our day one starter. But what helped him and what helped all of us was that it was one guy, right? The 4 other guys on the offensive line have been playing together for a couple of years. We had the chemistry. So when you have one guy in there, it's easier. When you have 2 or 3 guys, it depends. Young guys are probably easier to fit in because they don't know anything different. I mean, you can kind of bring them in and build them a whole new system and with the words and with the chemistry and everything you're trying to build. When you bring in older players, it's a little bit more challenging, I think, because everybody's got their own set of words. Hey, I call this block this, or you guys call it this. I want to call it this. And it's like, you kind of I remember when Jeff Saturday came over to Green Bay, and Jeff is freaking awesome, man. One of my favorite teammates. But Jeff basically came in and he's like, look, this is how I've been doing it for 15 years. This is what I'm going to do. And all of us had to adjust. We're like, okay, I mean, multiple-time All-Pro. But, it's easier if it's one guy. But, I know I'm talking a little bit long here. But, yeah, I think
this is good. Nobody talks about this shit.
The quicker you can build the chemistry on the offensive line and start to trust each other, I mean, obviously the better you're going to be. And with Green Bay, the good part about them is they've always had – those 1 or 2 veteran guys that lead that offensive line room that allows those rookies to not only step in with the level of comfort that they're going to have these veteran guys to lean on, but the expectation in that room has always been high. It was high when I got there in 09. I know it's still high to this day. And so that for a young offensive lineman, I think what they've done in that Green Bay Packer offensive line room for a lot of years now is one of the best spots to go into.
TJ, I've been a part of I think 3 or 4 offensive line chemistry building trips to bars and during training camps. I think that those nights are awesome. I honestly believe that. And I've always said, a team comes together much better around a keg than they do kale. But nowadays, with the modern, I don't know if there's, that chemistry being built. And I think offensive linemen are always going to be a gritty bunch and a tough bunch. But going back to being a much different world now, I do wonder how you build up that chemistry, the camaraderie, because that's always the most important part of every offensive line that I've ever seen ever operate at a high level. It's like, I need to be thinking what you're thinking, you need to be thinking what I'm thinking, and we're going out here and we're fighting, by the way. It's a different group than everybody else in the NFL, I think, that offensive line group.
Oh, yeah, it's extremely unique. I mean, you have 5 guys that, look, your only stats that you get are negative, right? Oh, he let up 2 hits. Oh, he let up 2 sacks. Oh, he had 2 holding calls, right? You never really see the positive part of being an offensive lineman. And look, I think that's part of our DNA. You have to be built that way. You have to be built in the fashion where you don't need somebody kissing your ass. You don't need people to say, oh, look at the left guard, what a phenomenal job. You don't need that. You do it selflessly so everybody else can get their accolades and their attention that they need. But it's a unique group. I mean, we don't really talk too much in public about what goes on at, O-line dinners and whatnot. But those are some of the, honestly, the best times of my career were getting out of the building, spending time with the offensive linemen. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and the quarterbacks always used to come out because it was just so damn fun. It's so fun when you could just go out as boys and as brothers and just chill and sit there. And honestly, it feels like, we all remember being in college and having that tight-knit group of college buddies. And that's how it feels in the NFL when it comes to offensive linemen, too. It just feels like you're right back in that zone of, I'm going to take care of this dude. I know he's going to do everything to take care of my back. And you just have that bond, man, and it's special. And what's special, too, is that, I talk to guys being, doing some sideline work with the Lions now. I see some older NFL guys around stadiums. And you talk to those guys, and it's like, you just fit right in, man. It's just like when they say it's like a fraternity and it's like a brotherhood, it really is, just because it's such a unique position to play. And it's such a unique, mindset for a lot of these guys where you don't feel like you're some superstar NFL player, right? You're an offensive lineman. You go out there, you do the dirty work, you do the grunt work, you do the gritty work, you go home, you have some beers and do it all again next week. You don't get all the attention other guys do, but you know what? I think most of us love it that way, man. And it's a special, it's definitely a special group of people.
I've been taking advantage of it, some of those offensive line things, They're like, hey, you want to come out tonight? Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. It's got a table at whatever. You want to stop by? Absolutely, I'll come through, And then, that first beer is a big cheers. Mm-hmm. And then we go ahead and house it. And then somebody's like, you want another one? Yeah, I'll take another one. Then all of a sudden it's like 2, 3 a.m. and it's like, man, this dude's 325 pounds. I am not. What was I doing here? But that type of respect and chemistry, you can't earn that in the locker room. That has to happen elsewhere. Yeah. Hopefully that's still happening, especially with COVID going on. Not whoa. Especially with
possibly.
Whoa. Actually, we beat that song. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, TJ, you mentioned the Lions. What's the vibe like in Detroit? Is everyone all in on MCDC, or do you think there might be some dark days ahead, especially if the Packers might win a Super Bowl?
And maybe leaving, going to San Antonio.
Oh, yeah, San Antonio Lions.
Yeah, maybe going.
Yeah, no, man, I think there's a lot of optimism, to be honest with you. Now, what I don't know is, they've been pretty quiet in free agency. They've signed a lot of their own free agents back. They've signed DJ Chark on a 1-year deal, which could be a win-win for both guys, the player and the team. I don't know how much their plans changed after Aaron Rodgers decided to come back, because not only with the Lions, but, with Chicago and Minnesota, you haven't really seen any of those teams really do a whole bunch in free agency. I think that's because, with Aaron Rodgers coming back and what Green Bay is trying to do by going all in again and winning, they just know they're probably still going to be a year or two away from competing for that division title. But I tell you what, man, I've never seen so much excitement around a 2-win football team as I have here. I mean, because people just, and honestly, what it is people love Dan Campbell. I mean, he is so open, he's so honest, he's so transparent. And a lot of people kind of rag on him because he has so many of these silly, catchphrases and biting kneecaps and bringing real life fucking lions to practice. I mean, people kind of hit on him for that a little bit. But I'll tell you what, man, I think a lot of people are, for the first time in a long time in Detroit, kind of believing in the plan. And I think the expectations are realistic from the fan base, knowing that they're probably not going to win the NFC North this year. It might take another couple of years, and I think you've seen that kind of reflect in what they've been doing free agency by not making any huge splashes. But Foxy will tell you, man, people are fucking fired up for Lions football in this town.
People are fired up.
I'll tell you what, man, people are fired up.
Fired up, and it sounds like what you're saying, what I've been saying this whole time, is we're going 10-7 and winning a playoff game next year. What do you think about that?
There's no chance.
I mean, yeah, with the 7th team in now, like.
Okay. All right, Teach works for the
winning a playoff game.
Well, here's the thing, as Lions fans, I mean, you can't look at Cincinnati, you can't look at them as an example, a team that went from worst to first because, look, they have Joe fucking Burrow, right? Lions don't have that. But what you can look at is some of these other teams that were in the 7th seed, in the last couple of years, you're like, I don't think the Lions are that far off. Okay. Now, they've obviously got a lot of work to do in the draft coming up and hopefully address some defensive issues that they've got. But, no, man, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if that is I'm not going to predict them to win a playoff game, Foxy, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of the sleeper team this year that
great that you're lying to us.
Sure.
Tage, I mean, you listen, MCDC playing this year or not?
Who?
Motor City Dan Campbell. Is MCDC playing or coaching next year?
Well, I think he's coaching, Pat.
Well, they got no chance.
Yeah, that's right.
They put MCDC on the field. Maybe we get to the playoffs.
That's right.
And I can't wait till he subs himself in there at some point.
Yeah.
That means that we're big MCDC fans around here. Last question.
Oh, he's the man, dude.
The man. Tej, last question here coming from Tone.
Tej, speaking of disagreements, building camaraderie, what's your fucking problem with the Steelers?
Yeah, what is that all about?
What's your problem, dude?
What is your problem? You hate Italians? You don't like Italians?
Oh, jeez.
Look, Pittsburgh people are some of the most sensitive people around there. You can't say anything like open and honest without them getting so fucking offended.
Not about
everything.
7, dude. Not about 7.
Tone, like, you really think Ben Roethlisberger was like good last year? I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah,
Like, I know he's your
Holy
freaking Hulk hero and all that.
Yeah.
But good Lord, buddy.
How do you feel about them signing Mitchell Trubisky? What do you think about? Hey, hold on. So Mitchell Trubisky, Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater. Now Baker's allegedly on the move. Matt Ryan's going to be on the move. How do you feel about these like last chance quarterbacks almost? Their careers, these are probably their last stops. Do you think any of them have success, or do you think this is just kind of like another chapter?
Look, I think Trubisky is a dude, and I'd love to give him shit when he was playing in Chicago. That's just what we do in Detroit. You give Chicago teams shit anytime you can.
Respect.
I kind of like Mitch. I mean, I don't think he's going to be, some crazy, Pro Bowl type player, but is he going to be a drop off from Ben Roethlisberger the last couple years? I don't think so. I mean, Ben could barely throw a freaking 20-yard out, Like, I'm just being honest with you guys.
Misinformation
So I
on
think
this program.
Mitch, I think Mitch, and you look at Mitch, man. I mean, he took the Bears really kind of bad program there for a couple years. He's still found a way to take them to a couple playoff appearances. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shocks some people. Now, here's the interesting question: is Baker? What's kind of his, career trajectory right now? Because honestly, I made this comparison this morning just thinking about it. Is he kind of on the same trajectory as a Mitchell Trubisky? Is he kind of at the point of the end of his rookie, contract where it's like, okay, he does some good things, but he's not really consistent. I don't know if he's a guy we can build off of franchise guys. Is he going to have that same kind of trajectory? I don't know, because depending on what you read or believe, it sounds like if Cleveland, whether they get Deshaun Watson or not, kind of sounds like they're prepared to move on from Baker anyway. So, but I don't know, man. Your Colts down there, they need a quarterback too.
All right, Tej, thanks for stopping by. Can't wait to chat with you again. Colts will figure it out. All right, Tej, the Colts will figure it out. You know who won't? The Red Wings. Ladies and gentlemen, TJ Lang. Thank you, TJ. Thank you. All right, TJ. See you later, TJ. Bye, TJ. it's been fun talking to you, TJ. All right, see you, TJ. Thank you so much, TJ. All right. Man, did he say anything there at the end? No. Oh, I thought he was going to say goodbye or
Oddly
something.
quiet.
All right, let's get to a break. We're back in 2 minutes with Hour 2. AJ Hawk will be here live from wherever the hell he is in the mountains, and we'll have more to chat about. Hopefully some moves will be made as well. TJ Lang, I fucking love that dude. We should talk to him more. See you in 2. We have our Bracket Bonanza 2.0. Come and join us. Perfect bracket wins $1 million. Whoa! Winner of the overall Bracket Bonanza 2.0 will win 1 Bitcoin.
Okay.
Second place will win a lunch with Mitt.
Okay.
And a signed Baby Duke by all the boys. Third place wins just a signed Baby Duke by myself and all the boys. Come join us. You're the best.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck
McAfee
are you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Hour 2 on this glorious Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 Wednesday shall begin right. What? Now. New league year begins in about 3 hours, actually 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Can't wait.
Big math show. Can't wait to see who does what. Will more players be cut? Carl Nassib released from the Las Vegas Raiders today. We assume that's a salary cap move. There will probably be more as teams try to kind of piece the puzzle together of their programs by 4
The
o'clock.
Commanders just released Landon Collins.
Okay,
So
Landon
safety, so
Collins
he's
is
gonna be
now on
gone.
the market.
Wow.
Austin Hooper released from the Browns. He'll be on the market. Carl Nassib, obviously. Johnny Hecker is going to be released from the Rams. He'll be on the market. The salary cap casualty day has arrived as the minutes tick closer.
They click too.
Well, they click, clack, and tick closer to the league year beginning. I think we should keep our eyes out to see more vets on their way out. At Ty Schmidt is here. At Boston Connor's here. Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. Dahn Cowboys is here. The other half of the Cowboys is in the back, dressed spectacularly. He is currently 0-2 in March Madness, but he's looking to get hot tonight in 2 more playing games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we hit in the NIT though. We're not terrible. We're bad. We're not terrible.
West Virginia didn't even get invited to the NIT, right?
No,
they're in that
CBI.
other
I
one.
think.
CBI.
What is that?
The D2 NIT.
Jeez fucking Louise.
There's some good teams in the NIT this year though. Like Texas A&M is very good. Oregon is still very good.
How about Santa Barbara?
Santa Clara,
Yeah, them.
that's Rothstein's squad.
They're the favorites.
They're in there still?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So West Virginia couldn't even get invited to the not-in tournament.
No.
No, not good enough.
That CBI is. Oh, that's a poopy tournament. They should not be hanging their hats on making it to
We're
that
going to win
tournament.
it. Don't you worry about it. Nick's here. Foxy's here. And Stone Cold Zadie is here. Great work, Zeke. The armpits look fantastic, as does the vest. Joining us from a mountain in the middle of nowhere with a new AI camera that will track his movements. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, COVID survivor, all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, AJ Hawk. You look much better today.
Wow. Really?
You went to work last night. You were pissed off about being in 360p or 720 or whatever. You look amazing today, AJ.
I have not changed anything with my setup, but yeah, I'm glad I'm connected. I'm glad to be here. And Ty, I have not heard of that second-rate tournament that you called a poopy tournament, so I will have to check that out this year.
Well, I'm not going to check it out, and the team that I cheer for when they're on TV is in it. So I don't think you should be taking any time out of your family vacation in the mountains to be watching any poopy basketball tournament. Because there's a good basketball tournament that started yesterday. Did you get to see any of those games? Will you watch March Madness, or are you guys too busy skiing, snowboarding, fighting bears, feeding deer?
Yeah, all of the above. But no, we're headed out of town tomorrow. I'll be headed back to Ohio on Thursday, and I'll check out a good amount of it. What has happened so far in the tournament, though? I don't even know.
Indiana beat Wyoming, and Texas.
Are these playing games or are
Yes.
these real games?
This is Dayton. Last night 2, tonight 2. The first 4 are happening yesterday and today. Indiana's in. Texas Southern is officially in. Tonight, the 2 teams that'll play is Bryant and
Wright
State. And there's a guy named Peter Kiss on this Bryant squad who we need to score 26 points. I don't give a fuck what happens in that game. This dude needs to score 26. And then the other game is
Rutgers and Notre Dame.
And let's go Rutgers. We obviously love Rutgers.
Yeah, here we go, Rutgers.
Notre Dame.
We obviously love Rutgers.
I don't know. I didn't know Notre Dame. I thought they were
right
gonna play.
before St. Patrick's
Was that
Day?
Notre Dame like CC, like Texas A&M
No,
CC?
no.
The Irish.
That's actual Notre Dame?
That's Notre Dame. Yeah.
Day before St. Patrick's Day as well.
Hey, Lou, you made some news lately.
I got tagged in that quite a bit.
What he did? What happened?
3 things. He gave 3 things.
Yep. 3 things for us to get back on the road to success in my mind.
1.
I love Donald Trump more than anything in the world. 2, Donald Trump has done nothing but do what he believes will make our country number 1 again.
And 3.
I need a fresh pair of Depends because I just pooped my pants.
Okay. Those are keys to success.
Are those first 2 things real?
Yeah,
that's what he said.
I don't know. I didn't listen to the speech.
I was going to say, I didn't read too much.
He got a medal right from him. He loves
But, dude,
Dahn.
we saw.
What was the first one again, Coach?
Good.
It was, I love Donald Trump more than anything other than Notre Dame football.
2.
Donald Trump has done nothing but what he believes will take us back to number 1, the best country in the world.
And 3.
I need a fresh pair of Depends. I had applesauce for lunch.
Ooh. Messy poop.
Is applesauce a squirt creator?
Oh yeah, straight through.
I didn't know that.
Comes out the same way it went in.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's the button.
All right, shots to Coach Lou Holtz, man.
Especially for Lou.
I'll tell you what, Notre Dame the night before St. Patrick's is very, very interesting to think about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, that kid for Bryant's a stud. That Kiss kid, I remember watching him, but he plays Wright State. Wright State's about 15 minutes from where I grew up. I used to play tournament games in the Nutter Center, their home court. So watch out for the Raiders.
The Wright State Raiders?
They're the favorites.
Yeah.
I don't care if they win. I just need that Peter Kiss ass kicking, trash talking, bucket making machine to fucking put up 26 tonight. Yeah. I just learned of this guy's existence. I guess he is a savage on the court.
Doesn't he average 25, like the most out of anyone in D1?
Yeah, so 25 and a half over under at plus 100. Feels like a pretty good bet on FanDuel, but I mean, you tell me.
I hope he's hot. Hope it's not like an off night. You know, that's the problem about the tournament. If you're a scrub team and you have a hot night and you're hitting threes, you can win. If you're a great team, you could lose to anybody if you're just not making anything.
Who's Ohio State playing? They got a pretty big ball game.
Oh, yeah.
They're 6th seed. You guys act like they weren't going to make the tournament.
They're fucked.
Loyola Chicago. They got
the nun.
They got old bag.
Oh, they got old Grandma Jean again or something.
Whoa.
You better hope we don't go out in the first
Lord.
round again, AJ, like
What's her
last year.
Sister Jean. OH.
She's still around?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
How dare you?
Let's
I mean, like, is she still with the squad? Is this her team she was with originally?
Yeah, she's doing this. Sister Jean looking only how I could look. Woo! Yeah, she made like a Ric Flair return, dude. What are you even talking about?
Be in PPG
She
Paints
beat
Arena.
COVID. She's 120 years old. She serves the Lord and Loyola.
Yeah.
And she's a good luck charm. Now, they don't have that big Polish bastard like they did last year, which Jeff Goodman said is a problem. So I think Ohio State might actually win. But if you continue to step on all the traditions of the Ohio State, karma is going to kick them in the ass in favor of Sister Jean. So let's give one for the boys. OH!
I'll give it to you, man.
Hey, fuck off, Sister Jean. All right, I'm on the Buckeye Buckeyes, this is a good decision by you. This was a good decision.
That's what the Bucks are going to do because, hey, it's all about winning. We need to win, and if there are some words thrown in Grandma Jean's direction, it's okay. It's all part of the sport. It's all competitive.
Are those guys from Ohio that are playing for Ohio State, or were they recruited out of state?
There's a mix of both. I mean, there's definitely Ohio guys, but there's a lot of guys from all over.
The Ohio guys will look Sister Jean right in her face and say, God isn't real, bitch.
Not today.
That is what Ohio people will do.
Yeah, sorry, sweetheart.
Ohio people would do that. I'm not saying I did that. I'm just quoting an Ohio person who had the opportunity to talk to Sister Jean face to face. I'm just saying that is something that an Ohio person would do.
Age, I got good news for you. They are playing in Pittsburgh. I got a couple Pisons with no future I could tell to go down there and harass her all game long.
Here we go.
Not just a couple, by the way. There's a lot of Pisons we know with no future that we can send down there to chit-chat with pinky rings on. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, Diggs. Well, if they can hang up their sticks from their street hockey game, right? I would assume those guys do the same thing.
Yeah, they would go straight from the game, though. Wow. They'd probably wear their helmets still.
While she's up in her ivory tower making moves with no repercussions.
Sister Jean is a fucking gem of a human.
Yeah.
Wait, is she still a national treasure? Are we still talking about her all the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
AJ, wake up.
I'm going to have to tune in.
Well, it's Ohio State. I'd hope you would.
Yeah, jeez.
When's the game?
Oh, this
you don't even know.
Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, actually, Dom. I didn't know that either.
I think it's the first game on Friday.
Yeah,
I think it's pick'em as well.
Hey, by the way, enter our bracket bonanza. You have until tomorrow at noon, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow at noon. The PMS Bonanza 2.0 you can search for on the app thing that they have.
Yep.
The official March Madness Capital One Bracket Challenge app. You search PMS Bonanza 2.0. You can find it. You can scan this QR code, or we tweeted out the link. We have 18,000 people in there already before the brackets have even been set. I assume tomorrow morning a lot of people are going to get in. One whole Bitcoin to the winner. Lunch with Mett and an autographed Baby Duke to those who come in second place. Wow. Third place, an autographed Baby Duke by the boys. And if you come in last, dead last, there will only be one outright loser. So if multiple people come in dead last, we will randomly select the outright loser. You get the job shadow Tone Diggs for a day.
Yeah!
Had a baby. A lot of people are going to be tanking their brackets in hopes to win that. Remember, only one outright loser will get to see Tone Diggs and how he operates throughout an entire Friday.
There's going to be a lot of disappointment when you get here.
Well, that's...
Do they get to show up to your house in the morning and rollerblade with you to work?
Yes.
6 a.m.
Yeah. Can't wait. I might try to lose.
6 a.m.
Well, I mean, we could do for AJ, if you come in 50th, you get to have a dinner with AJ Hawk.
Oh, in Ohio at the Chop House.
Yes.
Holy
It's being rebranded. You know that. It's being rebranded.
Yeah,
to
not
the
yet.
AJ Hawk Chop House?
I don't think I'm going to have any part of it.
Is the logo like your fingers making a P and an H just naturally? Ooh. So it's like CHO and then AJ's fingers.
Yeah.
And it's like PH.
Food, make money. Maybe we'll do it.
CHOP. HOUSE there. I mean, let's go. Is it the AJ Hawk Chop House?
No, it is not. But I think you guys even brought up on the show. It's being rebranded, right? And they're renaming it. I don't know what it's going to be though.
Urban's been through enough. Now he loses his Chop House, his dance house.
That's brutal.
What's that all about?
Come on.
Let the guy live.
Finger gun capital of the world.
What's he up to?
What's that?
What's Urban up to?
You know what he's doing.
He's on a boat.
Well, it is spring break, so
maybe he is on a boat.
Yeah.
He's definitely
smoking
down.
dope.
Smoking dope.
He's down in Lottie Dottie for spring break.
Well, he needs to stay out of the elbow room.
Yeah.
Down there in Lottie Dottie. And if he goes, just stay off the dance floor.
Yes.
Dance floor.
That's what I told him.
Easier said
Hands
than
in
done.
pockets.
AJ, what's the deal? Why do you go to the dance floor? Is that guy just a mover and a groover, huh?
I mean, didn't he say that was his one big mistake? Shouldn't have gone to the dance floor. They're trying to get him on the dance floor, and you're not a dancer.
I told the guys, should have just had the steak and then should have just went home. I shouldn't have gone to the dance floor. That's what I told the guys.
What did the guy say?
Next question. Let's revisit that dance floor because you weren't actually on the dance floor. You're actually sitting on a stool next to the dance floor. Mm-hmm. I'm not answering any more questions. An alternate video just came out, and there was more than one finger gun. Do you remember that? Like I said, should have went to the dance floor. Everybody knows when Urban Meyer hits the dance floor, finger guns become AK-47s. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah. I guess it's just called the Meyer Chop House, though.
No, just Chop House 614.
So they dropped Urban Meyer's name. It's still a Chop House.
Is that how many wins he has at Ohio State?
I don't think he's got that many. He was only there, 7 years?
So total
7-0 though.
Maybe total wins.
In his entire history of
614 is the area code.
Oh, it's stupid area code.
Oh.
What are the next 7 digits of your number, AJ?
I don't have it. I don't have a 614 area code. Mine. I got my phone back in Green Bay.
Oh, what is it?
920. That's my area code.
920
555.
Oh,
come on!
56.
Don't do that Hollywood shit.
Yeah, come on.
Don't do that.
Does anybody have a 555 number?
Maybe.
No, that's why Hollywood does it. It's annoying too. It's hard for me to take a movie serious immediately upon me hearing 555 too. Could have got a little bit more creative. Like 123 is better than you doing 555. Let's talk about some stuff. Baker Mayfield said goodbye to Cleveland in a long note screenshot. Everybody's saying it's not an official goodbye, but it sure felt like Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns are kind of done. Obviously, the Browns met with Deshaun Watson just yesterday. An inside source alleges that it was a good meeting between the Browns and Deshaun Watson. That team obviously stacked, packed to the gills. They got some money. They are releasing Austin Hooper to free up some more cap space. Is that for Deshaun Watson? Is that for another move that they have to make on the D-line like Chandler Jones? Baker Mayfield seems to be moving on. Baker Reagan Mayfield seems to be moving on. And Pro Football Network's Tony Pauline is reporting that Baker wants to go to the Colts. Wow. How do you feel about this, AJ, and what are your thoughts on it all?
Well, the only way Baker leaves Cleveland, right, is if they ship him out because they're bringing Deshaun Watson in, correct?
Bingo.
So, I mean, there's no guarantee they get Deshaun Watson. We know that. There's multiple teams going for him. So, is this, for Baker, is the damage already done with the organization? He sounds pretty hurt or sad by whatever's going on. That's why he puts this out when I'm sure the team doesn't enjoy the fact that he put this out.
Let's read this message here. Let's read this message from Baker Reagan Mayfield, BRM. Burn.
What do you think that is? Why do you put your full name?
Just to let people know, hey, I'm a fucking professional. Yeah. Cleveland, he says in bold. Title of the note is Cleveland, comma. The past 4 years have been nothing short of truly life-changing since I heard my name called on draft day to go to Cleveland. This is not a message with hidden meaning, all right? This is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. We have made many memories and shared growing in this process through all the ups and downs. I have no clue what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I have had during the duration of this process. I can only control what I can, which is trusting in God's plan. God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan. God's plan. Throughout this process, I have given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level. And that will not change wherever I take my next snap. Whatever happens, I just want to say thank you to the fans who truly embrace who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people. Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story. And we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our lives. Sincerely, Baker Reagan Mayfield.
Wow.
Sounds like Baker knows something that the public doesn't. Like maybe the Browns are definitely moving on, whether they get Deshaun Watson or not. This is certainly an interesting note section that you would put out if you were to go back to said team, but anything can get handled with good football. So maybe Baker Reagan Mayfield goes back to Cleveland because it feels like Deshaun's going to Atlanta today, and Atlanta is reached out to him with an entire pitch deck. He's reached out to Atlanta. It's his home, and the Colts feel like they're just sitting in limbo. Wherever Deshaun goes, we're picking up the contract or the quarterback from that place. That's what's being reported. Who knows what's real and what isn't, though, AJ?
So, I mean, there has to be a good chance that Baker Mayfield is back in Cleveland, right? Because even if they don't get Deshaun, how are they still – they already picked up Baker's option. How would they move on for him? Who comes in? What do you do? Make a trade for Matt Ryan straight up?
Or Mariota's still out there.
Jimmy.
Jameis Winston's still out there.
But you already picked up his fifth-year option, though.
Yeah, but so some other team can, too.
But I would assume if you get Deshaun, they would say, okay, cool, we'd love to have Deshaun. But if not, we'll stay with Baker. That's what I would think they would be doing.
Yeah, but if they trade away his fifth-year option, they get Mariota at like $4 million, $5 million a year, and they think he's an upgrade. By the way, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying you got to think for Andrew Berry. Why would Baker put that message out if he didn't hear that he was probably going to be on the move next season? Yes. It feels like that is right. Am I misreading that?
Yeah. No, you're not misreading. It definitely sounds like he feels like I won't be at Cleveland anymore. But do you think Cleveland feels that way? Cleveland may have told him, hey, I want to be upfront with you. I want to be honest. We're going to explore bringing Deshaun Watson in here. I don't want you to be offended, whatever. We're going to do what's best for the team. And then left it at that. And then Baker takes it as I'm gone.
some report came out and said that they have been transparent with Baker, that they're going to look at all top-tier quarterbacks that are potentially available. Maybe more has come from that, and I forget who reported that. So let's assume they were maybe looking in on Russell Wilson then too, right?
Yeah.
Which Baker probably heard. They're in on Deshaun. Obviously, publicly, we've heard that. So if you're Baker, you're like, I don't want to fucking go back to this team. Is it Baker maybe saying, like, hey, I appreciate what you guys have done, but at this point, why would I want to go back to this team? And maybe that's the difference between professional football and college and high school football. I'm not 100% sure.
That's kind of how friend of the program, Dano Orslowski, was spinning it this morning. Like, no matter if they don't get Deshaun or whatever, that there's no way that Baker can go back to that team and not feel like disrespected and stuff like that. And can he play under that circumstance?
Guy played with broken humerus and torn thing.
Come on.
Guy was in a sling all year. They had him throwing 60 times trying to make him look bad.
Setting him up for failure.
For the shoe.
So wait, no. Is Dane Orslowski saying not because of the letter Baker put out, but because it's been public that Cleveland's trying to court Deshaun Watson to town, that there's no way Baker can come back and be the guy now just because of that?
Listen, Dan says a lot of stuff.
Seemed like that.
Okay, but that he might be talking from where he thinks Baker's at right now.
Hey, Baker absolutely has. He 100% should feel that way a little bit. It should sting. It should hurt a little bit that they may be going after Deshaun Watson. But if you take a step back and say, all right, what's the best for me? I gotta be ready when it's my time to go, wherever that may be, and not just instantly turn off Cleveland. Because what if Cleveland wants to move on from him? You send you somewhere to be a backup. Like, you want to do that?
So the interesting thing here is, and this is a much different level, but the Colts, when a new regime came in, they told me they were going to bring in 4 guys that knew how to directional punt, and you need to figure it out or we're going to cut you. This is a contract year for me, by the way. You need to figure it out and go elsewhere. And I immediately thought, fuck these dudes, okay? But also for my job, okay, I better figure out how to fucking do directional punting, and when these dudes show up, I need to dunk on these dudes. That happened throughout your entire career at a lot of positions. I assume this happened to you as well. The fact that it's the quarterback position, it's a little bit different, I guess, especially because the conversation about Baker's future contract stipulations have been in conversation, and last year was obviously drama-filled. Maybe Baker just wants a fresh start, but also with what you're saying, it's like, hey, this is what the NFL is. This is how it's always going to be. You can still prove that you're going to be the guy for Cleveland long-term by coming out and balling next year. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. And like I said, it's not easy. It can't be easy for Baker sitting there knowing what he played through and the pain that he played through and what he's done, that the team is out there searching for this other guy, searching for Deshaun Watson. But once you get over that, once you let that anger settle down a little bit, it's like use it as your motivation. Like, all right, I don't care. If these guys don't believe me, cool. I'm going to kill everybody out here. They're all going to see who I am, and everyone's going to forget that they even went after Deshaun Watson.
Bingo. And then you could actually hit some of these every single time to your own team. That happens a lot.
Yeah, believe me. A lot of the best things that happen are because you are really mad at your coaches or different people in the organization, and it feels very good to do things when that's the case.
1,000,000%, by the way. That and Baker seems to have that mentality, that chip on his shoulder.
He's tough as nails. He took one of the hardest shots I've ever seen in college when he tried to run away, and that cop just blasted him. Almost handed the concrete. That honestly is one of the most impressive things I have ever seen.
And also the cop, great angle.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Former Sooner, probably.
Great coverage.
I mean, he's lucky Baker's head didn't hit that ledge and he would be dead. Like, Baker, he can absorb a hit, man.
Yeah, we saw a guy Taco Bell this morning get picked up and dumped on his head, and he was out immediately upon the head hitting the ground. So at that state of mind, I think it only takes a little bit, too, for you to potentially be night-night.
Mm-hmm.
Baker's able to survive that hit and a lot more. You know, he's a tough son of a bitch, that guy. On 316 day, too, I couldn't imagine Baker Mayfield coming to Indianapolis Colts, how pumped that would be.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think at this point now, because there are a couple teams that haven't done anything quarterback-wise and are kind of on the outside looking in, like, will this increase his worth if he were to be traded? Or, is the book kind of already out on him? Like, I don't know if the Colts would necessarily be like, okay, well, it didn't work with Carson
we'll give you our first round.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's the other part of it is, I mean, he sure as hell isn't going for a first-round pick, you'd think.
Well, I mean.
Where is the closest Cheesecake Factory?
Okay. All right, you're a terrible person. And
what happened?
We'll move on. Okay.
I love Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what happened.
Hey, me too, by the way. Fucking love it.
AJ
ordered it every single night at the house.
Spent $5,000 on
Thank you
Cheesecake
for that.
Yeah, thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
AJ did that strictly because he eats a terrible meal.
Yeah.
That is just the blandest chicken of all time, and I need plain ass rice. But he also wants to fit in order for everybody else.
Right.
And Cheesecake Factory has those options.
Exactly.
You know, so that's why AJ goes, right? Am I accurate? Yeah.
No, because they have the biggest menu. I say it all the time. It's the greatest restaurant in the history of the earth. I don't know what you guys are talking about, what happened, but the menu is gigantic, so I could order for a house full of 20 people, and everyone seemed to be somewhat happy with what I ordered.
It's a good move because you do eat like a robot, like a machine, but you can still fit in and say, guys, I'll order food. Because normally with the people who eat like you do, there's only a couple places, and it's all that terrible trash, I don't have taste buds food.
Exactly.
Cheesecake Factory has it all for you. It was perfect. Watching you work the Cheesecake Factory menu was so good. Sorry,
4 times. I think I ordered 4 times for the house in that week.
In 4 days. It was bum, 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 bum.
Every night.
You were a hero. You were a fucking hero. Those mini corn dogs. Oh my God.
Egg rolls.
Oh,
deep fried Oreos.
Oh. Hey, I had to search for. I remember I told Sam and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna get Cheesecake Factory. What do you guys like?" And you're like, "Mini corn dogs. Love mini corn dogs." And I spent 20 minutes scrolling the menu, and I was like, "Oh, it's on the kids menu. My bad. Like I had to find your meal on the kids menu."
Wasn't my meal. Okay, I was just asking for it to be a part of the
snack
display.
for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Jeez Louise. Anyways, forget what we were going to say about Baker.
Deshaun's going.
Open a Cheesecake Factory or something?
All right, we're getting away from that. All right, Gumpy's 0-2 in March Madness. So we have to remember that anything coming out of that head with that great shirt on and those incredible glasses, potentially coming from an upset man. And his soul is a little bit down right now.
Jaded.
He will turn that whole thing around. But Baker Mayfield coming to the Colts.
You like that more than Jimmy G?
So here's the thing.
No way.
Jimmy G's fucking, come on, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Come on, Jimmy. And the San Francisco 49ers were able to clear some more cap space by turning George Kittle's contract into a signing bonus and
Eric Armstead's
salary into a signing bonus. They saved like $18 million or something, which once again tells salary cap isn't real. Okay, it's not fucking real. Anybody that tells you it is making an excuse on why they're not doing something to make the team better. Okay, so you just need to know that I'm happy we can be the spotlight for that entire initiative. But if you look at what the Colts have done, and I don't want to be this guy, but I'm be this guy. We love our money in-house. We love our draft picks. We have no first-round pick this year because we paid Carson Wentz $30 million. He's no longer on the team this year.
Yes.
The year before that, we paid Phillip Rivers $25 million and Jacoby Brissett $20 million. Then you go back even further to the Andrew Luck whenever he retired. We have spent like $120 million on quarterbacks in the last 4 years. None of them are still on the team, and we lose our first-round pick. It's kind of completely counterproductive to the entire narrative of what happens, but I feel like the Colts are going to swing big on a quarterback, whether it's Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield, or anybody else. I feel like that is still to happen in the next few days, but it always dependent upon Deshaun Watson. And that is what we just sit around and wait for here in Indianapolis, I guess.
So is there any, from any of the, the so-called experts, the insiders, is there any timetable on what could happen with Deshaun and when something might happen?
So the Houston Texans just tweeted a photo of Caserio on the phone. He looked very cool.
Yeah,
he did.
He looked very, very, very cool. And allegedly, reports have said any team that wants to sit down and talk with Deshaun, they had to present a trade offer to the Houston Texans first. So anybody that is meeting with Deshaun Watson has already been approved for what they have offered up to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. For instance, Cleveland met with him yesterday. They had to present a trade option to the Houston Texans. Houston Texans say, that'll do. Go to the next room. Have a meeting with Deshaun Watson. The Falcons had to do the same thing. Panthers and Saints had to do the same thing. So Caserio, I believe, has confirmed all the teams that have met with Deshaun Watson. This photo was tweeted by the Texans. It said, Caserio just sent us this photo. Didn't tell us what it meant, but he's cooking or something like that. So maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows how this will all plan out. But I assume they're trying to get Deshaun Watson's contract off their books sooner than later.
Yes, they absolutely would like to get his contract off the books, but who is going to be the Houston Texans quarterback then?
Dougie Davis
Mills. Come on.
I mean, the Atlanta thing intrigues me to see if Matt Ryan would slide on over to Houston if they did that.
Everybody's saying wherever Deshaun goes, their quarterback's coming to the Colts. It's a 3-team.
Baker to Indianapolis makes some sense to me. It really does.
Frank Reich said to James Palmer yesterday, allegedly, I think it was James Palmer. Was it James Palmer that had
He
the report?
reported it, yeah.
Frank Reich told him that he wants a quarterback that is available for OTAs and off-season, everything like that. So does that mean Matt Ryan is who he's looking for? Yeah, because Baker's still coming out of that surgery, right? I mean, he's still got his entire thing going on.
Non-throwing shoulder, though, right?
Yeah, Jimmy G just had shoulder surgery, so he's not available. So all eyes seem to go to, if you take that statement for fact, seems like Matt.
It does.
Hey, he's a player. Matt Ryan's a hell of a player. He's once an MVP, AJ. He's once an MVP.
Been to a Super Bowl.
The guy's been in a Super Bowl, yeah.
He had a
He was up a lot.
25-point
He was up
lead.
a bad. What's going on with play calling? Matt Ryan didn't want to do that. He wanted to
No.
ball off.
Hey, the good thing is, though, Matt's not going to scramble all around town. He's going to sit in the pocket and let that thing fly.
Yeah, and the good news is doesn't have to throw it deep because we don't have a deep threat. So Mo Alley Cox just got re-signed. He's big body, used to play basketball. Fucking hit him for 5-7 yards. Hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Let's keep this thing moving. Bring Kenny Moore over to offense. Have him play like Cordero Patterson on both sides. Hand it off to him. Little scat back. Naeem Hines is still around. Put him at the slot. Matt Ryan can make all of those throws, as can Jimmy G, as could Baker Mayfield.
Oh, maybe you bring in Hooper too. A little Atlanta reunion between Hooper and Matty
Cordero
Ice.
Patterson too.
Cordero, bring him in.
Bring in Gilly Lock on the defensive side of the ball. Chandler Jones on the D line.
Sure.
Oh my God, the Colts are all of a sudden winning the fucking Super Bowl. They're plus 2,800. Better get on that now because that thing's going down to plus 200 probably after all the moves that Chris Ballard's going to make today. We're back in 4 minutes. What the fuck is going on? Why don't we sign somebody? We don't have a quarterback.
You were saying it before. They need to get a quarterback before a guy's going to come to the team and be like, yeah, I'm all in on Indianapolis, even though, Sam Ehlinger is the quarterback right now.
Jacksonville Jaguars have made a lot of moves. The Jets have made a lot of moves. The Giants have made a lot of moves. The Cardinals, obviously, in the ball game.
Dolphins.
Seattle, they got rid of their quarterback.
Yeah.
They're allegedly not into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes at all, even though that was supposed to be hot on the internet 2 weeks ago.
Is that something with the owner or the front office that isn't allowing them to go after him or what?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. But that was something where everybody's like, oh, they're getting all these picks for Russell Wilson so they can bundle that, send him to Houston, get Deshaun Watson in there. Allegedly, they haven't been in the conversation at all. All right, we're back in about 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. Cannot wait to chat with these people, AJ.
I'm excited to see what if they have similar views to you, like with the Colts, with whatever their team is. Like, I don't know how people truly feel about these quarterbacks.
Hey, real quick before we get to, how was the mountain safari yesterday? You see any bears?
Went to like this. We saw like a 5,000 elk roaming around and some bison, all kind of stuff. We were out in this wagon being pulled by horses and freezing cold sleet and rain, but it was sweet.
Oregon Trail.
Sounds awesome.
What the hell, dude?
Hey, skiing, we got to get equipment that fits better, and never skied before. My knees are in pain, but yeah, it was fun. We'll do that. That we were in the back of a wagon being pulled by horses in the middle of sleet and rain. Yeah, but it was fun.
Sounds
This is
awesome.
the greatest spring break of all time.
Hey, no joke. This morning we went to a hot springs. They had like 5 different hot springs you get in, and we just got back. And during it, my wife and I were like, this is the best trip we've had with the kids. Like, we have actually activities that seem to go somewhat well. And although it doesn't sound like it when it's presented to you, this is actually we're operating, close to our peak level right now compared to what we have in the past.
Axel pooping at hot spring, any of them?
Shockingly, Axel did not poop, but Axel's a big reason why we didn't ski all afternoon. That dude freaked out after 10 minutes. And it was a situation.
Oh, no.
I love that guy. All right, we're back in 4 with some phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
We're appreciative of celebrity fans that come out. But there are just simply some that are like, oh, we're from here. This is what we do. We root for this team. That's not the case here. And that's why I wanted you on here.
Nobody wants to play the Blues in the playoffs. We're a heavy team. We're mean and we're relentless, and that they don't play hockey like that anymore. Especially the the high flying teams. And all of a sudden the playoffs happen, and you guys see it. The heavy teams. All of a sudden nobody wants to play them. Nobody likes playing the Sharks a couple years ago. Nobody liked playing the Blackhawks back in the old days, and it's just it's a different beast, and we're built for it.
You know what? Hammer, I love the way you do this. You talk. He knows his shit, guys. I told you this. Like, you know.
And then like the '80s happened, and Hully happened, and Shanahan happened, and Scott. We had so many great players come through our organization that, and lost them in the weirdest, most Byzantine, awful ways of stupid trades and bad arbitration, and and then we lose Shanahan, we get Pronger, and everybody hates Pronger, and then Pronger becomes an all-star, and then we of course we don't win with him, but he wins that Anaheim or wherever he won, and you're just like, we can't. We're snake bit. And then something like 2019 happens, and it's all worth it. So I just been around long enough. Like, that's really it. Through Steiner, I was inducted into the Blues alumni, kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh,
so
look at that! Got you one of
I
these.
feel pretty strong about that.
Can we see that one more time? That thing was beautiful. Look at that thing.
I genuinely enjoy going to hockey games. I never played. I mean, I played pickup hockey. I can skate. I can go forwards and backwards. But I never really played. I wasn't raised with a lot of money. Hockey equipment's expensive. We're not in Canada where it's like, everybody's got 10 brothers and hand-me-downs and whatnot. I was an only child. I just love the game, and I love talking about it. I love watching it. I've turned my girlfriend on it, and her sister and their friends. They love it. They've become Blues fans. It's like, of course, the first year that they're Blues fans, they win the fucking Stanley Cup, and you're like, okay, listen, this is not how it goes.
You don't know the pain. You don't know the pain. You don't
please let me disabuse you of that notion. Too sweet.
You kind of played the heel at the All-Star game, and I loved it. I loved it.
The absolute best.
There's quite a bit of backlash from that.
I took a little heat, but I think first of all that it's a ridiculous thing, whatever that thing is. It's like it's a Carrot Top's involved. There you go, done.
Oh no!
I mean, come on. There's literally a ventriloquist dummy next to me. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely shot.
Yeah,
but
John Gumpy's got his request with a sequel to The Town. I have a rather simple, adequate request, I hope, and I'm begging you, I'm asking you, man, please start rocking some underwear more, because you're putting the rest of us out here to shame. These paparazzi pics and everything, and the chatter online. It's a lot, and I'm happy for you, and I'm proud for you.
Hey, look,
you're killing.
We all have our cross to bear, man.
Most dudes have tried many different ways to last longer in the sack, but thinking about NFL free agency in your bracket doesn't always work, does it?
No, it doesn't for me.
That's why the folks over at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with their Roman Swipes, AJ.
Hell yeah.
Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in the sack. They're easy to use and fast acting and don't require a prescription.
Nice.
Perfect. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the discreet packet that'll show up on your doorstep in a discreet box. Nobody will know that you have it. It's like a tag team partner that nobody knows that you have.
Bingo.
You swipe it on, let it dry, and bang! Best sex you've ever had in your life.
Hell yeah.
Bingo.
Go to GetRoman.com/Pat and get $10 off your first order of swipes plus free 2-day shipping. So they'll be there by the weekend.
Here we go.
Make sure you click the link in the description and get $10 off swipes so you can start having longer lasting, better sex.
Yes.
As the world's opening them back up here, let's make sure we put on a show in the sack. You never know when it's going to be showtime. Have your tag team partner in your back pocket at Roman.
Thank you, Roman.
GetRoman.com/Pat, $10 off your first order of swipes. Welcome back to the program. There has been another commit, close, half-yard line. Boom! I ain't going there. I'm going somewhere else. Washington Commanders running back McKissick was supposed to join the Buffalo Bills. The entire world thought he was joining the Bills. Then he changed his mind and said, nah, I'm going back to Washington. He had a 2-year, $7 million deal with the Bills on the table. It was close. He's a scat back, absolute stud. Going back to Washington with Commander Carson Wentz. This is 2 times now. Randy Gregory was supposed to go back to the Dallas Cowboys. They agreed to terms. They agreed to deals. Then they get the contract. And in Randy Gregory Gregory and his agent's terms, they added in that he could lose all of his bonus money if he gets fined or for anything, not just off the field, on the field as well. That's in no other contracts. And Randy Gregory, as soon as he found out about them putting that in there, he said, fuck them. I ain't doing that. This is classic. We agreed to terms, and then the fuckery in the contract's much different than we thought it was going to be. Randy Gregory leaves because of that. McKissick, who knows why he went back to Washington. Maybe he was just recruited by that Bobcat driving Carson Wentz.
Hell yeah. That's exactly what I said. The only reason he would go back to Washington is because old Carson gave him a call. And so through Carson's leadership and everything he's doing, he brings the guy back. They don't have to pay him more money. It's the same money that Buffalo's going to pay, right? He could have played with Josh Allen.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Things are looking good for Carson in Washington right now.
Hey, he's 1-0, I guess. Stealing recruits. Background on change of heart. Washington initially didn't even offer him a deal until he agreed to one in Buffalo per his agents Doug Hendrickson and C.J. LeBoy. Once McKissick heard Washington was willing to match the offer, he didn't want to, I got a house here.
Yeah.
I got my restaurant right over here. I mean, we pay massive taxes here in the DMV area, but I love it. You know, I'm meeting with politicians on Tuesdays.
That's right.
And on Wednesday, the president opens the doors for me. I mean, Buffalo is awesome. I know they created Wings and the Anchor Bar and the Bill's Mafia Suite, but I'd rather not have to get a U-Haul truck and get the fuck out of here.
Makes perfect sense.
You guys just match the offer? Yeah, you got it. Cool, I'm staying here.
He's going down in history. He's part of the first ever Washington Commander football team. Why would he ever want to leave that?
Depending upon how the Commanders do.
True. I don't know if he wants to go 6.
You think Rose is excited to be the part of history with the Titanic?
I mean, I don't think she was excited, but
What about Jack?
Well, Jack dies, so I know he wasn't excited, but I know Rose says,
You think Jack's so pissed he won that card game? You know, like as he was freezing in the water and like drifting away to his death, where he could have been on the door for sure with that rich bitch. He's just like, fuck, I wish I didn't get good cards. And then he's dead. See you later.
Maybe, but he did get to take her to Pound Town.
Yeah.
And I think he was kind of just circling that the entire time. So.
Yeah, but I don't think Jack was a virgin. Did you see that guy? How good he was at cards?
True.
And he was a painter. That guy was having a lot of sex.
Yeah, on that boat as well. See, I think he just regrets not picking somebody else. I think Rose is where he goes back.
He might not have died.
He's dead.
I heard he might have lived.
He's so dead.
Oh, and then he showed up in that on the beach in Inception or whatever.
Already comes back to Great Gatsby.
I didn't take it that far. I don't know, but yeah, I heard he may have made it.
He's super
What if
dead.
Leonardo DiCaprio is literally just one never-ending character?
That'd be awesome.
He's Jack this entire time.
Catch Me If You Can.
Jack was in, he became Frank Abagnale there for a little bit. Then obviously he's out there with Brad Pitt in Hollywood doing stuff in the pool.
Went back in time to, own a plantation in Django.
Yes.
Jack, wow.
Basketball Diaries.
Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
And it started with What's Eating Gilbert Grape, maybe?
Fought a bear.
Leonardo DiCaprio fought a bear.
Oh, yeah. The bear really gave it to him.
Oh, yeah, he got boned by the bear.
Yeah, he got
He
ripped
won
up.
Academy Award final.
Undercover co-op in Boston.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, whenever he killed Damon and
That scumbag.
Gilbert Grape. Did he win awards for Gilbert Grape? That movie?
Nominated.
Benjamin Button?
Benjamin Button.
That was Big Peasy.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go movie talk in the middle of this new league year.
He loves cigs. Connor, you gotta love him. He loves smoking cigs.
Yeah, you fucking know it. Yeah, I do love him.
Why do people love smoking cigs? What are you guys doing?
Oh, man. Why don't people love to smoke cigs? Do you know how awesome it is?
There's nothing good that comes from it.
Everything is good that comes from them, aside from any side effects that, they warn you about. So it's kind of still expected. You know what it's like to smoke a cigarette first thing in the morning when you wake up before you do anything else? It's unbelievable. After every single meal, a breakfast cigarette is possibly top 3 greatest things that has ever existed on the planet.
What's the other two?
You don't just have to inhale. Yeah, what are the other two? Dinner cig?
Bill
Trump
Belichick.
cig?
Bill Belichick. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The dinner cig, because the dinner cig is special strictly because it's typically, you get home and then you have dinner and then it's like, okay, now what do? Do I watch some TV? No, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to
You need
smoke
to stop smoking cigs. I don't even think you smoke cigs anymore.
You'd be
This is all one big
surprised.
parade.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I keep one always kind of just hanging around just in case it's like, man, I need one of those.
2022, there's no reason to smoke cigs still.
Peaky Blinders are coming out with a new season soon, and that is a whole nother reason to smoke cigs.
Because people on TV are doing it
Yeah,
from the
you-
50s?
Even before then.
20s.
I think it's,
Roll your own,
1930,
Mike.
1920.
I smoked
Roll your own,
cigs
though.
for 3
I
years
think you should roll
because
your
of
own
John
little
Hamm.
cigs. It'd be healthier too.
Yeah, those are called buglers. You can get those whenever you want. They come with a nice little pack of tobacco. Yeah, no, the Bugle Boys, kind of similar. We could be the Bugler Boys if you guys want to start smoking cigs.
I quit when the show stopped. So
You were smoking cigs while you were watching Halo Con?
oh yeah,
You were such a chameleon.
fucking Camel Blues, they were delicious.
My God.
True Detective Season 1. I smoked
yeah.
Camel Blues for 2 years because
That got
of it.
me. I was a big menthol guy.
You guys are the worst. You are literally what every single marketing department is trying to tell. Hey, if we put a good show in front of this guy, he'll become a cowboy and smoke for 2 years.
Yeah.
If we put it in front of this guy, he'll change his entire breakfast routine.
Easily.
You guys need to relax. A little mental toughness. Huh? Think about your future. Don't be smoking any cigs.
Not anymore.
Smoke dope instead.
Okay.
If McConaughey wants
do
to come
that.
back to another season of True Detective though and smoke 15,000 cigs on camera, I might throw my hat back in the ring.
Have to.
That was a great season.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Man. Best in television history.
That scene where he's going in the trailer park or whatever.
The row houses, yeah.
How many takes? Because that's just one shot, right? Can they
Yeah.
edit that? Can you edit a one shot?
What's he doing in the scene?
Just goes and clears fucking house,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And then just absolutely
Steals drugs,
obliterates.
goes in. The camera just follows him going into through backyards and like a couple different houses. It's incredible.
Hart actually whoa, come
Yeah.
on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Many times.
You know what I mean? You give a couple of those. I don't watch a lot of shit. Come on, dude.
That was a 6-minute scene.
Yeah. I know that was a
That's
single
insane.
take.
Single take. That's why McConaughey's McConaughey. Now he's cheering on Austin FC, and he's the director of culture at the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah.
Soon to be governor.
Is he going to run for? I thought he pulled his
think
hat
he
out
said,
of that.
yeah, I don't
For
think
now.
so.
For now.
All right. I ain't doing that. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Joe in Scranton, Pennsylvania. What's going on, Joe in Scranton?
Yo, what's up, boys? How you doing?
Keep moving, Joe. It's good stuff. Good start.
That's what I'm talking about. First of all, we should let the boys have a couple cigs inside.
Oh, six inside. That is, see, that guy's right. That is the number 3 six.
Yeah,
Six inside.
Joe's working in a factory right now. All right?
Oh.
Joe's inhaling a lot worse than just cigs, okay? This guy is looking for cancer. Hey, Joe, don't say that. And you guys don't need it. If you're going to smoke dope. Don't be smoking that cancer.
Maybe a spliff, perhaps.
What's that?
Maybe a spliff. Throw it. That's another great cigarette. Is the one where you kind of
Kenny
empty the
Spliff
tobacco in it, and then you only smoke half a cig after you smoke a spliff.
Listen, don't be smoking.
That's
See,
Joe
knows.
Joe, stop smoking.
Hashtag Joe knew.
Joe did not know. Joe knows nothing. Joe, what do you want to talk about, dude?
My birds. What are they doing? We need a defensive back. We need a wide receiver. Thanks for the first round pick, by the way, from the Colts.
All right, I'm done with Joe.
That one, yeah.
I've decided.
Yeah.
Eagles were in on a couple conversations, though. I think
They were in on the
Russ?
Russ conversation. Apparently,
they were looking for Russ.
They signed Hassan Reddick, right?
they were also they also made an offer to the Falcons for Calvin Ridley, and then I guess the Falcons said, "Hey, we got to wait on that."
Yeah, we got to see how much money he bet. He did 11-game parlay, and he actually picked you guys to lose. So, do you guys want that still?
Sirianni, no way.
Sirianni's not down. I want a competitor. I want a guy. They've been active. I feel like the Eagles have been active. Joe should feel a lot better than the Colts fans should feel. AJ.
I mean, absolutely. Now, think of going into this season. Did anyone give the Eagles any hope of doing anything? I feel like they kind of overachieved from what at least the national narrative was on them.
That first press conference.
Yeah.
Was
Knocked it
tough.
out of the park.
That place was on fire. We were comparing Philly and Houston. Which place is worse? And then Sirianni got those boys to buy in. Jalen Hurts became an actual dual threat. Had some real moments where he was great. I'm excited to watch what the Eagles do. The NFC East obviously runs through Dallas, always has for the last few years, and will. I feel like anybody can get it in that NFC East. I mean, look at the Commanders right now.
Exactly.
They're flipping signings all of a sudden. The Commanders are getting a little bit hungry. The Giants feel like the only team that's going to stink.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt about it. Unless Dave's, comes through and is an
Dave's could do
absolute
that.
weapon.
Dave's could do that, especially with Joe Shane up there pulling.
Yeah,
Have they done anything? Have the Giants done anything?
Tyrod Taylor. They brought in Tyrod Taylor.
That's right.
Signed a guard.
And Glowinski.
Yeah, they signed a Colts guy.
From the Colts.
From the Colts. They
He's
also
a
have
fucking hell of a player. We're losing people. We got more money than everybody. We're losing people.
Interesting.
They have 2 top 10 picks too. The Giants. So they're in a
How
much
come they're
better-
not in the Deshaun?
I don't know. That was the thought too, because they could trade Dime, Saquon, and those 2.
I thought about this earlier. How come the Niners aren't in on the Deshaun Watson conversation? If you look at it's clearly only going to be NFC teams, right? I feel like at this point we have actually Browns.
Browns, and I feel like the Browns, like the timing of that Baker thing, right after the Browns met with Watson.
You think they sent him a message? Hey, meeting went real
It
well.
went really well, unless the Falcons blow them away, and the Falcons have lost, obviously Ridley, and then Russell Gage is gone. The Browns feel like the place that'll end up with Deshaun.
So if you're any team, I guess, that is kind of questioning what you got going, like for instance, the Niners, you could trade Jimmy G out of there. You just signed Mullins. You can have Trey back up or Nick Mullins back up Deshaun. He's probably staring down some sort of suspension from the league. Have them play. Why wouldn't the Niners be like? I don't know. Once you start thinking about it, it's like 4 teams are in now publicly. The Colts would have been in. They were turned down publicly. I wonder how many more teams are potentially going to get into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, AJ.
I mean, there may be some like quietly trying to go about it, trying to see if they can make something happen. But the Niners, would they want to do that and give up picks after you just use the first round pick on Trey Lance and just that's so much into that quarterback?
Oh yeah, I guess they do not have any picks.
Well, and can you even be quiet about trying to go and get him? Because it seems like every time a new team comes in, like they're using that as leverage. That like, hey, there's currently 6 or 7 teams that want to get this guy, and he's willing to go take meetings with all of them.
Why won't they trade Jimmy G? What's going on? Is he starting next year for them?
Holding out. Price is only going to go up, right?
They pay Nick Mullins. They got Trey Lance. There's no way Jimmy G sticks around. You can't have 3 quarterbacks that you're paying.
It was Sudfeld they paid, not Mullins.
Oh, Sudfeld.
Well, he's
Fourth
a player.
quarter quarterback
That's right.
for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's still in.
I'm sorry to Bland White. That's on me. Okay, Sudfeld is a player.
I thought it was Mullins.
Sudfeld is a player. Mullins also a player. But if they paid him like a pretty good amount, then they actually
I think it was like $2 million, $3 million, something like that.
Is it guaranteed though? I mean, the way contracts are being reported, seems like a bunch of bullshit to me. But I don't know. It feels like Jimmy G's on the way out, but maybe not.
And Shefty reported earlier this month that the Niners aren't completely locked in on trading Jimmy G yet.
Even though they both did the goodbyes.
Right.
And maybe that's what happens with Cleveland and Baker. Let's go to Tim in Columbus. OH, Tim.
Oh, I'm not doing it for you, Pat. Pat, AJ.
Well, I'm not giving you air. Let's go to Rob in the Bay. What's going on, Rob?
How you doing?
Keep it moving.
316 day what?
What?
Weed?
What?
Tequila?
What?
Vodka?
What?
More weed?
What? All right.
Gelato? No, all right, but
More specifically.
my question for Boston was to stop bullshitting. My question was, man, hey, I'm a Raider fan. I just want to know what's your true opinion on Josh McDaniels? Because I know Bill Belichick is a special teams and defensive guru, so obviously he was play calling. Josh McDaniels being the person I'm speaking about. I'm just curious, as a Patriots fan, like, what's your true opinion on he is?
Rob, great question. I would like to get AJ's opinion on this as well at some point. But Connor, you guys love Josh McDaniels?
Yeah, I love him.
Because he fucked over the Colts, too.
Fucked over the Colts. That is really what I put at the top of my list with McDaniels. And then obviously, he called a couple Super Bowls. He's a great guy.
Great relationship with Tom. Great relationship with Mac. Seems like they always have an ability to figure it out. Now, granted, they ran the ball 99% of one division win this past season. But I feel like that's what Josh McDaniels brings. He's going to adapt the offense to who they're playing. He's obviously already been a head coach one time. Maybe he learned from that. I feel like he's a good ball coach, personally. But who knows?
I think we don't know if he's a great head coach yet. I mean, he had his little stint. I know he's talked about how much better equipped he is now to handle being a head coach, like the relationships. It was cool to see how honest he was. I was watching him talk to Chris Sims, I believe, at the Combine about that. But I think he's an unbelievable play caller. He like you mentioned it. He adapts to whatever is happening. He doesn't care. There's no like, hey, this is what we do. This is who we are. He goes into a game with a plan, and then he adjusts better than anybody. and they're going to take what you give them. And I think it's amazing to watch and see, and kind of he keeps his ego out of it.
I hope so. I hope he has success because that Belichick tree has not.
No.
It has not had a lot of success. Now, he had Tim Tebow as a quarterback. No offense, Tim Tebow.
No.
Hey, no offense, Tim Tebow. Absolute monster. I'm sure he's learned a lot. Now it's the second go. I'm excited to see what he does in Las Vegas on a team that is still trying to, build their entire program out there in Vegas. He could be the guy for the next 10, 15 years. What's that guy's fucking problem? I'm not giving it to you, he says. This guy.
Yeah. What's he? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
Don't like
I don't know.
What kind of accent was that too? He had.
I didn't hear it.
He was
all I heard was, I'm not giving it to you. And I said, well, funny thing, I'm not giving you something too. It's a little give and take.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well played by you.
If he was like a Michigan guy, I was like, no, I'm actually a Michigan guy. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, piss poor attitude, Pat.
What?
I feel like I probably donated more to Ohio State stuff than that fucking
Hell yeah.
guy.
By far.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been to a couple cult parties.
Wow.
I feel like I've earned my IOs from others.
Raise money.
Just because the vanilla gorilla here with the mangled fingers doesn't always want to do it because he knows it'll become an everyday thing. Doesn't mean you could call on to this phone line and say that to me.
No, not on this program. Not today.
I will ban all calls from Ohio if I have to.
That's the bottom line.
You hear me, AJ?
I feel he was out of line completely. You are handling. You have all the power in the world to do this. I feel like you should.
We just missed the heart out just like
Yeah,
we
I
did in the
figured
first
that.
hour. We got an email about that from Sirius, by the way.
What'd they say?
Yeah, you guys seem to be missing a heart out there. If you could stop doing that.
What do you mean?
What?
Did we?
Sorry about it. Somebody's answering it. I had people on Friday calling me a sellout for Sirius. It's like, if you think I'm fucking selling out for Sirius, you're out of your goddamn mind, okay? The boys, we didn't do the giveaway while we were still live on YouTube on Friday. Some things got shifted, by the way, very quickly on Friday. Weather with plane, new plane, need to take off now. That whole thing, we didn't have any guests scheduled. AJ had no idea that he was going to be hosting alone. It was just like, hey, let's not do YouTube because this is a clusterfuck that kind of got thrown in late. I get people attacking me that I sold out for Sirius. I'm like, Sirius? They don't pay us shit. What are we even talking about? Maybe it was just like a long week and a lot of things just happened out of nowhere. I apologize for that. But yeah, Sirius ain't going to be happy with what just happened there. But in the end,
fuck them.
Who cares?
Bingo.
Yep.
Well said. I was seeing those tweets though. You sold out for Sirius, and I'm like, oh, so y'all motherfuckers don't know the show at all.
No. They don't listen or watch anything.
You don't know anything at all. Yeah, and I apologize that the giveaway wasn't done on YouTube. Now, granted, once again, I found out I was leaving about 6 minutes before I announced, hey, I'm out of here. I have to be because the plane stuff. And then, that's just part of having a show, though. Things like that are going to happen. We'll learn from it. We'll grow from it. But calling me a sellout I blocked 45 people. Like, sellout is probably the meanest thing you can call me.
Deservedly.
Yeah. The amount of fuck yous I've said to people not to be a sellout is just, that is, that's a real heart. That's something that really gets me. So I blocked them all. Good luck winning any of the contests.
Sorry.
Make a burner account. Good luck, cuz. See you later. Fucking I've been blocking a lot of people. It's been awesome. I'm back in it, Muting became a thing.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Muting's not enough.
No.
I'm like, I want this person gone.
See ya.
See you later. I'm going to try to block all 2.3 million. I'm joking. Let's have a good time. We're back in hour 3. Mike Rupp will join us. Hey,
Hell
Rupp.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Host of That's Hockey Talk, which is on tonight at 8 o'clock, youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. Can't wait to talk to Rupper in the third hour, talk a little hockey. Hopefully some things will happen. Only 2 hours left before the league year begins. A lot of salary caps have to be figured out. We will chat about that and more phone calls at 1-833-4-McAfee. If you don't want to give me the IO, that's fine. I don't want to give you time.
Pretty simple.
Because OH, I owe you nothing. All right, see you in a couple. Bye. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused, they'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
I put most of my success down to masturbation 7 times a day.
You got this guy, you can
Honestly,
pop. You can really pop.
Got to keep that blood pumping, baby.
Oh, that's amazing. Is that why you think you throw such bombs? Because what you've been accused of having shit in your gloves and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's that all about? That's because you're.
And the only thing I've been loading is testosterone from all the wanking over the years.
I saw that in what was that show? What was that? There was that show,
Mythbusters?
Mythbusters did it with a boxer, actually, because the old myth was if you...
Women weak in legs.
Yeah, beforehand. Then they did on Mythbusters, like, no, actually, you get more testosterone immediately afterwards. It makes you stronger. You've been doping testosterone with your right hand, huh?
Wow.
Going to town on yourself.
Right hands and left hands, depending on what I feel like.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. On this glorious 3/16 Wednesday, hour 3 begins right now.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Lou Holtz, who stopped by the show earlier. The clip. Tell you what, it hits every single time. AJ Hawk to my left, your right. He's a Super Bowl champion and Green Bay Packers all-time leading tackler. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Mullet looking good.
Hey, thanks, Pat. I washed it last night, so getting back into that routine.
See, when I wash my hair, it goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
I washed my hair this weekend, and I haven't been able to do anything with it, so I'm waiting for the next haircut tomorrow.
Yeah, I had to douse this thing in hairspray this morning, but hey, that's gonna happen.
Hey, it's art.
Exactly.
Speaking of art, 10 digs gambling on March Madness. This is like watching Picasso and Bob Ross do their thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Tonight you like?
I like Bryant plus the 3 and Notre Dame money line.
Ooh. St. Patrick's Day.
Bubba Gumpino here, one of the other half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys, a very, very accomplished gambler in his own right. He was able to gamble on 60 to 70 things whenever there was no sports happening.
Yeah. Crazy.
This guy really dives into all the nuts and bolts of everything. Do you like Rutgers and the other team tonight?
That is correct.
Oh, no. What are we supposed to do, AJ?
I mean, who has the better record?
Gumpy does.
Diggs is hot right now. I am cold right now.
See, this is the thing.
Not true.
They keep doing this.
This is what they keep doing. We're supposed to go to them. Like, hey, we don't have time to watch every shitty college basketball game. Gumpy's like, I got you. Tom Diggs doesn't have time to watch the games either, but he just goes through all the numbers. They just kind of hammer through. Now they're completely split, have been the last 2 nights. And then who's the better gambler overall? I think this year, Gumpy has been. Yeah. But then Gumpy's like, yeah, but not right now. And everybody knows this is a game of runs. This is a game of runs, and Diggs is hot right now. These guys are almost hurting us more than they're helping us right now, AJ.
For the month of March, he has been the best by far on Hammer Down. I have been the worst.
So you're due. Diggs is due.
That's what
Why are
happens.
they both self-handicapping?
Yeah.
I'm not self
As an impartial,
Wait, you guys are a team.
Yeah.
impartial middleman, I can't confirm what he's saying. Diggs did stink for a while, but he has gotten hot lately. Gumpy was on fire, and he's kind of slowed down a little.
So what you're saying is every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
Bingo.
And once once one door closes, another one opens.
Exactly.
And Gumpy's heater was potentially all the way up until yesterday. New beginning, 10 Diggs is back knowing how to gamble.
But I
Sounds
have
like it.
faith in Gumpy to recover and get back on that horse.
Because it's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity for Gumpy to dive back into the weeds and get even better.
By the way, the first game I thought was a coin flip, and Wright State is the favorite. I'm only taking Bryant because of Pete Kiss.
Yeah, we got Peter Kiss tonight, 26 points.
That's the only thing we care about.
That's right.
There you go.
Hey, Peter Chris, if you've seen this, fucking get your buckets tonight, kid.
Here we go. Shooting now.
Prime time.
Warm up.
Yeah, start shooting in warm-ups and don't stop.
Yes.
From the
Did you say
logo.
+6?
Huh?
Did Diggs say he's taking them +3?
3.
Okay.
You don't know any. You don't even know.
Yeah.
This. What do you like the Wright State Raiders, I guess, because they're near your school, but
Hasn't Wright State won like 20 straight games or something?
They're hot as a pistol, my friend.
Oh my God.
So they're going to make sure that kid doesn't score 26?
It feels like nobody can.
Hey, FanDuel had a boost last night that was like basically a handout. The Trace Jackson Davis to score 15 points. He had 29, like school high in tournament. And for the Hoosiers just to win outright, and they were 3-point favorites. I was able to get my money back on that because I did hammer the A&M Corpus Christi squad. That was a great boost. FanDuel, if you go to their boost, they're almost, I assume at some point they're going to have a business meeting about this. The people that are creating the boosts are great gamblers. Great. I think if you just bet the boost that they give out, I think you're up like good 40, 50 units over the last like 6 months.
The other boost last night was Kyrie and KD combined for 60 plus, and Kyrie did that on his own.
That was plus 210 or something like that.
Jesus.
I mean, that was big time. I've been raking off those boosts. With that being said, I don't know anything about college basketball other than the fact that Sister Jean's going to give Ohio State all they can handle. On Friday.
Yeah. I just hope Kyrie wears a fucking mask. I mean,
You have to.
Aaron Judge too.
Yeah, make sure.
Oh no,
Judgy ain't playing.
Especially,
I know
since
this
he's
is
outside.
I know this is a personal thing, and we don't want to have to ask this on literally the first fucking day you're doing press, but are you vaccinated or not, you fucking scumbag? It's basically what happened with Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge like, we'll deal with that as so you're not vaccinated, you son of a bitch. And what does it mean to be vaccinated now at this point? Do you have to have the triple, quadruple boost? Like, what is the baseball players or the people like Kyrie Irving? He can't just hop in and say, give me the J&J one-shotter thing, and then he's good, right? There's probably
I don't think so. I think you probably have to be all the way up to date.
And he doesn't even have enough. The NBA is not even going to end by the time he has enough time to get all the shots in. So Kyrie cannot change this by the playoffs that start April 12th through 15th. Everybody's just assuming that Eric is going to change the mandates over there, and I guess that's what Aaron Judge is probably hoping for. And others, Aaron's probably not the only baseball player that did not get vaccinated.
I doubt it. It's great for him, too, because you can't play if you're not vaccinated in Toronto either, who is in the Yankees division. So Aaron Judge may only get to play in 30, 40 games this year.
And their
contract year.
Yeah, they're negotiating a new one, right?
Yeah. So that's great. That's great for Yankees fans, and that's great for him. So we'll see. Yeah, Eric, need you, pal.
Red Sox
Need you,
looking
pal.
good.
How about Kevin Durant?
Oh.
I think Eric's just trying to get some attention or whatever. Need that
So he
change.
said?
Yeah, it was awesome. KD is... People weren't happy, obviously, that he said this to the mayor. He's got a lot of other things to handle. Okay, he's not just a basketball player worried about Kyrie Irving. And KD was like, it makes no sense to anybody. He's allowed to be there at the game. Other teams that have non-vaccinated players are allowed to play in our building, but he's not because he's employed by a company that's in our city. That makes no sense at all. And people are like, hey, shut the fuck up, KD. It's like, what? I don't know if KD's the one wrong here. I'm no Mayor or virologist.
Sure.
But it feels like that is a little contradicting and it doesn't make much sense, but it's protecting everybody. Obviously, this is protecting everybody.
Obviously it is. What if Aaron Judge is quadruple vaxxed, but he legit is trying to be a great leader, and he has a couple buddies, some young guys that he knows probably can't withstand the onslaught of what it would be if they were unvaccinated from the media and the team and everything. What if he honestly is? What if he has 15 vaxes and he's like, no, this is just what I'm doing for my guys?
Or even better, what if he is vaxxed and just trolling with them?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be. Yeah.
What if he said, I'm immunized? Yeah.
Or
What if he
That
did
would've
that?
been-
That
that
would be
would've been
amazing.
Someone will. Someone's going to.
Yeah,
I hope.
there's some troll over there in the baseball world, right? They got personalities over there.
Oh yeah. Castellanos maybe.
Bauer.
I don't know if he's playing.
What's his status with the league?
That's a great question. Ty, baseball, what's going on with the guy that was doing that stuff behind closed doors?
I don't think he is current. Like, there's still something going on with the MLB itself in turn. Like, I don't think he ever got suspended, but also teams. I know people weren't happy the way he was doing business. I don't think players like him.
He's
at
on
all.
administrative leave, is what I just saw.
So his teammates didn't like him, though. Remember? His teammates didn't go to bat for him.
No,
He didn't get
exactly.
no criminal charges, right? Now?
I think that's
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But what do we know about that? Nothing.
sandwich.
Let's dive into the NFL. What we know, the COVID stuff still affecting things is wild to me. You know, as
In the NFL or where?
As somebody that got woken up in the middle of my nap on my flight back after getting everything, and being told, "Hey, you need the mask above your nose," it's like, why did I get all the shit injected into me? I get it. Okay, you're saving the world. I appreciate you. I'm all doped up on all types of sleeping medicines and vitamins, so we're not going to get into this. But I could see how this maybe would turn sideways if you would have, shoved somebody that was a little bit differently than I am. But you go into the entire world at this point thinking the COVID's dead, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to dance too much on the grave because we've done that a lot for the last 2 years, and it clearly was not. But it feels like at this point, that's a little redundancy, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's spring break right now, and there's places all over where it's like it's a spring break like it was in 2017. Like there's no thought that.
Hey, Kyrie, April 12th and 15th, that's a lot of time for those protocols to change. Let's talk about yesterday. It was formally announced Andrew Whitworth retiring from the game. NFL Films immediately released after his announcement publicly the moment between he and his children on the field after winning the Super Bowl in Los Angeles with confetti around, telling his kids, hey, this is Daddy's last football game. He's 44 years old playing left tackle, starting, being dominant. Everybody talks about how great of a leader he is. He's the Walter Payton Man of the Year, gave an incredible speech. I mean, an absolute stud of a human. Everybody likes him. That moment of him and his kids where he said, hey, I'm going to be around more. I'm going to be a better dad. I'm going to coach the hell out of you. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now, and I don't have kids. That was magical. What a way for him to go out after a hell of a career with Cincy and then with the Los Angeles Rams as a man who's respected by everybody.
Yeah, what an awesome career path he had. I mean, I was with him. I played for the Bengals for a season. Whit was on the team. Whit ran the show. Had so much respect from everybody and was so good every single game. And then to go out to LA and end it with the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, this is how you draw it up. This is the kind of guy you probably should have some kind of docu-series about or a movie about eventually, just his story and what he was through. And he obviously never won a playoff game in Cincinnati. And then he goes out here at the Rams and bam, gets to ride off into the sunset with the Super Bowl ring.
And he's too good of a guy to say it publicly, but I assume when he lays his head down, fucking pumped they beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Full story, full circle coming together there. The team that I was with for a long time, gave my all to, come to Los Angeles. We beat that team. It's my last game. Confetti's falling. I get to tell my kids I retired. And shout out to NFL Films, by the way, who waited to release that footage until Andrew Whitworth made his decision. All around, bravo, great piece of internet yesterday. And Whitworth is beloved by everybody. I think he's beloved by everybody. Opponents, teammates, coaches, everybody seems to love that guy. Can't wait to see what he does. Maybe he goes to Fox.
Oh.
Maybe he's calling games. And if then he's not around his kids, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But I just get leave for you could be gone for a day and a half, still do games. It's a great schedule.
And everybody loves him. He's Jay Glazer's guy, and Jay Glazer's plugged in over there.
Right. Either that or definitely being in LA working for the NFL Network, doing, just being on the NFL Live and that kind of stuff.
Hey, Whitworth, you ever want fucking,
Oh yeah.
shoulder thing? Just let me know, dude. I almost hit almost hip tossed your fucking guy Glazer at the
Yeah,
radio.
right off the stage.
Didn't want to do that, but the book was too good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's in there and unbreakable. He'll still be working out, I assume, right? Full time?
I would imagine. Yeah, he moves great. Is he really 40? Are you sure he's 44, not 42?
He might be 42.
I think he's 40 because he became the first lineman to play left tackle at 40 this year.
Yeah, but that was a record that was already broke.
He is 40. His birthday's in December.
He's 40 years old? God, I just aged him. I'm
No,
so
44
sorry.
sounds better, though.
Yeah, so
Way
he's
better.
45. He won a Super Bowl. He's 45
Yeah,
left
right.
tackle.
Yeah.
Started every game.
That's right.
How much money did he make? Had to make so much money.
Because when
Left
he
tackle for that long?
Yeah, and he was on the Rams team when they were in the Super Bowl in 2018, and he signed a massive contract to go over there.
How many years in the NFL? That's 18, 19 years?
Career earnings.
Is this Spotrac?
107 million.
What?
Damn.
Good for him. He was also.
Hey, what's going on with Zeke back there? Zeke, and I just realized he's wearing full Stone Cold gear. Looks like he was crying or laughing about something.
We've announced that like 4 or 5 times during the show. Thanks for paying attention. Stone Cold Zate's here on 316 Day.
What?
What?
Did you watch Young Rock last night?
Oh, so good.
Did you have some moose juice?
What?
Yeah.
Did you go to the Iron Paradise?
Hell yeah.
Did you have some Broken Skull IPAs?
I did. I forgot to bring them in this morning, though. I'm pissed off.
I think we're going to have some beers around the office tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day.
What?
Joining us now is a man who I'd love to have a couple beers with.
Uh-huh.
It does appear as if he survived his trip to Vegas, which was happening last week,
Nice.
which is great news because we didn't know how that was going to go. Hockey icon, Stanley Cup champion, co-host of That's Hockey Talk, which is on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Rupper.
What's up? What's up, fellas? What's wrong? What's up, man?
You in a handball league?
I got I saw CFO Phil rocking the jersey online today, and I'm like, I got one of those bitches, so I put it on. I got it bad. We got the tournament starting right now. I'm not dressed like Stone Cold, but come on, man.
Hey, you look. Hey, thank you, Rupper.
Thank you, Rupper.
Thank you, Rupper.
Hey, I was in. You said it. I was in Vegas last week, and maybe picked up a new style. I don't know.
How was it? How was Vegas at this point? Because, the Vegas scene was dead there for a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Wouldn't even know it was Vegas.
Are they all the way back? Is Vegas all the way back? How was your trip out there? Did you win gambling? And did your liver say, all right, enough, let's get the fuck out of this hellhole?
No, everything was great, man. I mean, what's funny is we talked about this before. It's like prior Golden Knights, right? Like they were in the finals. What year was that? That was 18 against the Caps, right? I never been to Vegas prior to that, but since that team's gotten there, whether it's going there for NHL Network or then just going a few times on personal, it's like I've been to Vegas a ton. Actually been good pretty much. I feel like, I didn't go through that nasty stretch right at the beginning of COVID, but it was awesome, man. It was good. Everything was, people were out and about and jumping around, and it was fun. It was a good time. The weather was cold though, man. It was not very warm, but I had a great time. But it's just like any other, everybody's always told me, and I feel it every time I go out there. It's like after about 3 days, 4 days, you're like, all right, dude, I'm good. So got out of there and got back to work. So it was good though, man. I loved it.
Great 72-hour town. Great 72, 48. Depending upon how hard you go. Good to get in, see everybody. That's why the people that work there and are in the VIP and work in the clubs and everything, there's been a couple people I've seen there over a span of 4 years where I'm there for 48 hours trying to kill myself. And then I'm going home. And they got another dude who's coming in there trying to kill himself for the next 48 hours. And they're there for 4 years or whatever. It's like your stamina is fucking unbelievable what they're able to. Shout out to the Vegas VIP.
Yeah, thank you,
Vegas. What I went to, I was out there for those few days, and then we were originally planning on coming back to New Jersey, and one of my old teammates, Mikko Koivu, had his jersey retirement, and in Minnesota, first Wild player to ever get his jersey retired. So I'm like, I'm not going to miss that, right? So we kind of rebooked the flight. And that 1 hour we all fucking hate in the spring, right? On Saturday that we get. So I went to a concert. Concert got out at 12:30, kind of mingle around, whatever. It's 2:00. I'm like, I should go back and pack. I got an early flight. I go back to the hotel room, start packing my stuff. I got a wake up call at 4. This is 2:00. And all of a sudden 2:00 comes and the motherfucker jumps to 3. And I'm like, what? Oh my God. I'm like, you kidding me right now? So I did like no sleep right to Minnesota, go to this jersey ceremony, and that was a little bit of a bender after that too. So it's good to be back and getting a little bit of a normal flow again.
Hey, congrats, Rupper. Got a sweatband on, a jersey. You still got it, dude. You still got it, Rupp. You hockey guys know how to throw it down. Let's talk a little hockey. And I know AJ has questions as well. Ohio guys, anytime you see that type of energy, it's very real. Tonight on That's Hockey Talk, what are we talking about? Do we have any guests? And when are the Pens winning the Stanley Cup? This year, next year, or both?
Well, hey, there's one team right now. AJ knows them real well. Colorado Avalanche. Last couple days, dude, these guys have gotten better and better. I don't know. I know trade deadline is Monday. Is it Monday? 5 days. So Monday. The best team in the league has been the only team making trades right now, and they're getting better. And so actually our guest tonight, I'm still waiting to get confirmation how that goes, especially during the season. They're getting kind of down to that stretch drive. I was actually thinking about, it'd be fun to get Jack Johnson on, and maybe he could fly some stories. But I requested Nazem Kadri, so we're still waiting to hear back if they could swing that. They're out west. They got that little bit of a travel going on, so we'll see, man. But we're hoping for that. And that team has gotten better. This trade deadline is going to be nuts. There's some heavy hitters in the Eastern Conference that are going to be swinging for the fucking fences.
That's right.
And a lot of teams think they really got a shot. And I'll say this though, Pat, and I know you say that about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh does have a shot. They have a need that I don't know if they're going to, that's the tough part, right, with the salary cap. And you got, it's so tight. All these teams are so tight that they're waiting. They've had some conversations in place for weeks, maybe even a month or two, but they have to wait till a certain part of the schedule passes because they don't want to grab on some more salary. Like, you know what I mean? Like every day that passes gives them a little tick lower from the salary cap ceiling. And they have to wait to the deadline. So some teams might get fleeced here and lose out on a guy they really want. And it'll be interesting, man. It's going to be a fun few days leading up to it.
That's happening in the NFL. As Rupper was speaking right there, news has broken in the NFL. Chandler Jones officially with the Raiders.
Wow.
Thought he was coming to the Colts. We don't have a quarterback. It's hard to recruit people.
They also have Ngakoue and Max Crosby. They're going to...
Oh, my. Josh McDaniels going all in. How many minutes? 17? $17 million a year for Chandler Jones to join that Raider squad that... Josh McDaniels trying to make, and we've had a lot of Raiders calls the last couple of days. Get excited. Sounds like the team's going to be great. Let's get back to the NHL. Jack Johnson and the Avalanche stink. AJ, your question.
Well, Rupper said it. The Avs are obviously doing well, but Rupper, you were mentioning your Vegas situation, how that went down. Obviously, you didn't complain about it. You can make it work, and you just go. You can go both ends of the candle, as they say. Are guys now in the league? Are they any different than when you first got in the league? Like, are there guys that can still go like that, both ends of the candle, as you say?
You know what? It's kind of funny because, like, even when I came in, my first year was 2003, and it was kind of getting to the end of that old school stage, right? I remember distinctively, and I've had stories with a lot of guys that the way it used to be was, you know what? You went out with the boys every night on the road and you had your beers, and this is what it was. This is like part of the process of learning how to be a pro. And some of these guys, so when I broke in, it wasn't always like that, but there's a lot of old school guys that maybe started, in the early 80s or, like they're starting in mid 80s, late 80s. And these guys would go out, throw down their beers, they go to bed, they'd slug them pretty good, go to bed at a reasonable hour. And then these guys would be, practice at 10:30 in the morning on the road. These guys get in there at 7, and they just go and they go on the bike and they just go for a steady, sweat it out. And it was incredible. And these guys played at a high level. And I don't know, it's like, I feel like at that point, it's not, listen, it's so different now, I'm sure, in all sports, right? But it's 365 now. I mean, you're training, everything is revolving around getting your body healed, rested, ready to go. But I also think back in the day, it taught you how to be a professional, because you know what, hey, go out and do your thing, but those guys held each other accountable when it came to the rink the next day. And you're not coming in if you're playing, and if those guys are playing guilty, you better fucking perform, or someone's going to slam you up against the wall and let you know. You know what I'm saying? So it was something. Yeah, no, it's different now, man. It's not. I even found in my career, you legitimately have probably 3 nights during the entire season where it's like the team lets it go. You know what I mean? You got your rookie dinner. You're going to have like a West Coast trip if you're an East Coast team, where you're going to have a certain days can fall in. And the good coaches out there and the good GMs, they schedule it for that, right? We're going to have a Florida trip, and we're going to have, we're going to give you guys 3 days. Instead of coming back home for a night, we're going to give you 3 days down there. Here's the credit card. Like, let it loose a little bit. So, it still happens, but it's like few and far between. That's for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the NHL's new TV deals. They leave NBC. Now they're on Turner and on ESPN. But Turner has the NBA and now college basketball. And ESPN puts them on ESPN Plus. How come I'm not seeing Sidney Crosby every single night? How come every single game isn't on national television? Do you think that happens as we get closer to the playoffs and these other sports just kind of have to die off? What do you and do you think the NHL is happy with the move to Turner and ESPN?
I think that it's I think the opportunities that are existing and in front of the NHL, yes, they are excited. It's a process, though. I think that these two networks are still going to be building out things over the next little time, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. I think that, there's certainly an element of it, and we've talked about it before on here. Like, the NHL season, even when you're a player, you don't have a lot of – you try to stay away from NFL Sunday on the schedule, right? You try to schedule accordingly. And to be honest with you, in some spots – like in Pittsburgh or in Columbus or in some, down in Texas, you stay away from Friday nights. You're not going to play games on Friday nights. You're not going to get the tickets. You're not going to get the revenue from it because you got high school football. So, it's something that hockey's always navigated through the fall part, and then really after Christmas and into the NFL playoffs and post, it starts picking up, and that's really the best time of the year. I mean, I find that in the playoffs in probably April or so, there's no better sport to watch than hockey, and you get the playoffs going. So, you know what? It's going to be more and more familiar as far as Sid and the Penguins. Once playoffs start, they're going to get a lot of games on national TV. I think that's when you're going to start seeing ESPN put it more on the big network, and then you're going to have them on ABC. Turner's going to start doing some more stuff. They're going to have Wayne at more events. I mean, they're going to start pulling out all the stops. Yeah, they're going to start pulling out all the stops down the stretch here. So I think it's good, and I think it's going to be good. It's just, it's going to be an adjustment because they're trying to adjust and go into this streaming world out there, right? And not everybody has crossed over to the dark side yet to streaming. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
Wayno, top 3 player of all time.
That's
Wayno.
right.
That's that guy.
Behind who?
Bobby Orr.
You know who?
Bobby Orr.
Shut up.
Stoner.
6'6".
Bobby Orr.
Shut up.
Mario Lemieux.
Massive drop off, then Wayne.
No, Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux,
Stoner.
Wayno.
Bobby Orr.
Stoner maybe
better
down
than
there
all
in
of
top
them
10.
combined.
Listen, I don't need to hear this whenever they weren't wearing helmets who's playing what.
Oh, Bobby, they were wearing
Sidney
helmets.
Crosby back in the day would have scored 4,000 goals. You remember those goalies were wearing what? Batteries on their thing. And
Yeah.
they, couldn't even
What a shit.
skate. They had no helmets on, so they weren't putting their face in front of anything. There was goons protecting Wayno and Mary. Sid's got to fight for him fucking self out there because the rest of the team won't. And he's still beat. Sid's number 1. Mario Lemieux's number 2. Then Wayno's number 3.
Stoner's 4. If we're putting Wayno at 3, Stoner's got to be.
All right, you're up.
Right.
Rupper, speaking of Stoner and the Golden Knights, I mean, what the fuck's going on? I'm starting to lose my patience. Are we going to get some goaltending help? Are they going to get a guy who's not going to let up, 8, 9 goals every single fucking night? Is Stoner ever coming back? Can they get the cement out of his skates? And Jackie Aces, I feel like I was sold a false bill of goods. I mean, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, man, that's a loaded one. Here's situations for the fans that don't know. So this Vegas Golden Knights team, right? They came in the league year 1, expansion, Stanley Cup Finals. Never happened before in any sport. And these fans there, and man, Ty, like you guys don't know losing yet. Right. They haven't lost. I mean, they haven't won a Stanley Cup, but this team's been an elite team from day one. They're going through some shit now. And what they did they've been making huge, bold moves in all their years so far, and it's almost been like they're making these moves, dealing with the consequences later. So they make those massive moves. They trade for Jack Eichel before his surgery, so they know that they're not going to have him for a while. They did the same stuff here when they had $12 million in goaltending with Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Leonard. They always make these big moves, and their salary cap issues for the team, and they just deal with it later. So that point being, they can't really fucking do anything right now. Like, they're so capped. They are so capped out. That even if they were, first of all, they're struggling really bad right now because they're banged up. They've got a lot of important pieces out. They're starting goaltenders out. Stoner's one that really concerns me because this guy's the heartbeat of this team, the captain, and he's been banged up all year. I don't know if he's going to be healthy.
His best days are already behind him.
Yikes!
He's done.
Yikes!
This guy's done.
So this team is almost like they're almost like
don't you dare.
They're almost kind of dying a slow death right now, and they can't do anything about it. Wow! Like, but hold on. I'm not saying they're gonna. Hey, I'm not saying they're gonna die. Wow. They're just struggling right now. And but the point is, they can't get any relief. They're not going to be able to do anything substantial at the trade deadline. So no one's coming in the door. So it's got to be within that group. So this is why I look to Jackie Aces. I look to Jack Eichel, and I'm like, all right, man.
We're all looking.
You've had now 15, 16 games, and I'm all under the. I've always thought in the way of if you're playing in the lineup. I know he had neck surgery, man. I'm not trying to discount that or what that is. I have no idea what you got to go through. But once you start playing again, and once you start getting games under your belt, you're back. There's no more excuses. When you're in the lineup, you're there, and you're healthy. And so now we're getting to the point. I think it's time for Jack Eichel to take over and get some wins for this team. He's played enough games now. He's played like 15 games. And but I don't know, man. If they don't change it here soon, they might in a week or so. They might be out of it.
Oh, that'd be a real shame. Oh, that'd be a real. Let's have another team that's out of it. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you said that, Pat, because right now the hottest team in the league, Rupper will agree, is the Boston Bruins. And, I love the Knights and the Penguins, but let's talk about a team who's been there since the birth of the NHL, the Boston Bruins. Rups, are we going to go out and get Flower or Patty Kane or someone who's going to take us over that hump to get us to the Stanley Cup final? Or what
Flowers
do you think?
Flowers coming home.
The one guy that we're hearing rumors on, and we're hearing rumors from Boston, out of Boston, I should say, for everybody. They're one of those teams that hate. I'll be frank. I'll be totally frank with you.
Morado.
Fucking hate Boston.
Hate us because we're the best, Rups.
No, you know what?
Sorry.
Maybe that's it. I've always had this thing for Boston teams, and whatever. It's whatever. It's because I'm a Cleveland fan. We don't win shit, and these guys are better than us. Anyways, so I'll say this though, that team has been really fun to watch because they're always in the mix every year for free agency, for trade deadline. Like, these guys go all in for their fans, and you got to respect that. And they do it in all the sports. So they're great fan base. Their teams are great. I just hate them. And this Bruins team though, the one guy that I'm hearing, if they can land him, it'll be huge. Tomas Hertl, big centerman out of San Jose. San Jose, he's a pending UFA. San Jose really wants to sign him. I don't know if they're going to be able to because they got a lot of bad contracts. That he's going to demand a lot. So this would be a rental player for the Bruins. Boom. And they've actually looked really good since they broke up that top line. And then they now have David Pasternak on line 2 with Taylor Hall and Eric Holla. And but Eric Holla, he's a very good, useful utility player. He's not a second line center. If they can get Tomas Hertl, this team can make a little bit of noise. I mean, it's going to be tough. That Eastern Conference, man, they're loaded. I told you the 3 teams that are swinging for the fences are the Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, and the sneaky one, the New York Rangers have $30 million in cap space. No team in the league is close to that. So they're rumored with Patty Kane. They can afford any player in the league, and they've got the prospects to pull off a trade. So if they think they're there now and they want to go for it, I think this could change everything. And that's where it comes into play to affect, Nick, Pat, Phil, the Penguins probably going to play the Rangers in the first round.
Listen, having all the cap space means nothing. nothing. Okay, if I've learned anything over the last couple of days, having cap space means nothing. Okay, the Colts.
That's true. That's a fair point.
Thank you.
That's a fair point.
With that being said, everybody's saying, and this might be just me outside looking in and seeing it, but like everybody's saying that Boston barn is now the easiest place to play because the Boston Bruins fans have kind of quit on the team.
Tell 'em,
and they
Rupp.
kind of lost their like entire passion for the squad because they got a rat Marchand licking people's
Rupp,
faces.
Tell them the home record.
They're saying the barn is bad. Boston fans have quit on the Bruins.
Tell 'em, Rupper.
Is that real? That barn's terrible now?
Tell 'em.
The barn is terrible to go in on the road.
Boom! Toughest barn in the league is what Rupper just said.
No, that's Pittsburgh.
You know why? Just think about it this way. And, I say this tongue in cheek because, Connor, I love you. It's like having fucking 18,000 Connors in that fucking building.
Exactly.
You got these guys. You wonder why Brad Marchand's licking faces. These guys are licking the glass. They're spilling beers on each other. It's a disaster down there.
Don't put 'em
they're
out.
loud. It's a good fan base. I'll give them that.
That's how the Patriots stadium is as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they have reasons to be arrogant. So it's just like, not only are they great at being loud and arrogant and obnoxious, they also have like 20 years of success behind it for those Patriots games.
Yeah,
And
you can't say anything about it, right?
yeah, you just got to sit there and be like, you fucking
Yeah,
rat
you're right.
scumbag. You're right, I guess. You've done nothing on the field, but you guys are probably going to beat us by 50 today. And I would like to not hear from you ever again. Go ahead, Frankie boy.
Rupper, Ovechkin just passed your boy Jaromir Jagr for third all-time on the NHL goal-scoring list. He's at 767 goals right now. Pretty impressive. I think he's 40-some away from that old bag of bones, Gordie Howe, for second all-time.
Jesus.
How quickly will he get that? Will he touch Wayno's record? And how happy are you that he passed Yags?
I'm happy past Yags because I want Ovi to be the all-time greatest scorer in the game. I'm a big fan of just goals in general, and I still think Ovi is the greatest goal scorer of all time, even right now. You know, Wayne has that record for a reason. It's Wayne Gretzky, man. But we've all talked about it before. This is how absurd Wayne Gretzky was as a player. What's the number? What's Wayne's goal total? You got that, Nick?
894.
So 894. If you took away those 894 goals and you just went on assists, Wayne Gretzky is the all-time points leader in NHL history.
Jesus.
Like, that's insane, right? So we're talking about the all-time goal leader. If you took away all of his goals, he'd still have the most points total because of all the assists he's had. So Wayne, did he score goals? Clearly, 894 times, right? But
Wayne said Mario's a better shooter. He said that.
He did.
you know what? I would say Wayne. Everybody I've ever talked to that when they compares to Wayne, Mario was a better goal scorer. Yeah. Mario had this one-on-one factor that I don't know what to compare it to in another sport, but it's like he had that domination, that element that just you couldn't do anything. You guys would be draped all over him. Wayne was more of a cerebral guy where he's moving. He just took inventory all over the ice. He knew where everybody was on both teams. He's going to find the open guy. That's how he got all those assists. But I want to see Obi do it. I think it's great. I mean, when you have some of those records that are up forever and people are going to say they're never going to get touched, isn't it cool to be as a fan, even if you're not a fan, just to see that shit happening? Like, we're seeing it happen here in real life. So someday, I don't know anybody that watched some of these great records back in the 60s and the 70s that are standing. We could be like to our kids and grandkids, like, holy shit, I saw that crazy son of a bitch scoring goals till he was 40, and he was unbelievable. Scored goals every year. So I want him to keep going. I think he will pass Wayne Gretzky. He's good he just signed that deal for 5 more years. I think he'll do it in 4 or 5 years.
How about when Ovi is just drifting down the left side of the ice backwards with his stick up like this, and it's like, if this puck comes anywhere near him, it is going to be absolutely nuked.
Yeah.
Top jet. It's just like you see him skating free on the left side, puts the stick up basically, and everybody in the arena is like, a rocket is about to come. And his stick, that thing bends in half as he's like fucking, it's unbelievable to watch Ovi go to work. Should have been a Penguin. But obviously instead he was a Capital, and I hated him for a long time. But then once he won the Lombardi of hockey and he was just chugging out of that Stanley for 10 straight days, I was like, I fucking love it.
Did that change? I always wonder this because Ovi was disliked by a lot of people. And there was something though, and I always had to play against him, and I didn't like him playing against him. But when he won, I don't know. It's like I just as a player, and we all chase it. He finally got it right, and now people can close their mouths about his greatness. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's not going to be this. He's not going to be that." I mean, they still do it. But this guy is great, and he finally got it. But I want to know, like, when you guys are watching, everybody saw it. It was all over the place. Remember in the fountains, he's doing snow angels in the fountain in DC. Like, the guy was hammered drunk for like 2 straight weeks, and everything's documented on social media. And I think people saw, like, he's just a big kid that wanted to win. Now everybody's I'm glad people came around and started liking him.
I loved him after seeing Drunk Ovi watch, because he was in the fountain, and then he was on a late night show. Gone.
Yeah.
Hammered drunk on TV. It was like, that is why hockey is awesome and different than everybody else. Now, who was that? Drew Bennett. Stenson? What was his name? The kid from Georgia?
Oh, Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, him, Drew Bennett.
On
Stetson.
Good Morning America?
Yeah, absolutely gone. Like, I love that type of stuff. Like, hey, you are not letting the media obligations get in the way of your celebration.
Right.
And for me, that's like, I love that. Like, not bowing down to anybody. OV, I enjoyed it. Go ahead, AJ.
Well, going back, Rupper, I think when I saw Ovi swimming in the fountain with 6 inches of water and he's still trying to perform a decent stroke was when I became a full-go fan of his. I always was, though, but that was one of my favorite. But I wanted to go to the coaches right now. Who's the best coach in the NHL right now?
Sully.
Say it, Rupper. Say it.
You know who.
Say it, man.
Sully.
You know what?
Son of a bitch in
I
Boston.
hate that. You know what? I'm going to let you in on something. I'm sure you got to deal with it all the time. Probably 10 times more than me, AJ. These fucking guys, the peer pressure that they give you for this type of shit, and you start hearing Sully. No, because you know what? It is Sully, and I don't want to say it now.
Hell yeah.
And that's the problem.
Doesn't want to say it.
Hey, we know hockey, dude. I'm a hockey aficionado. Fucking
No, I know, but like, hey, listen, it's that's hockey talk. It's not that's Penguins talk.
Don't forget Bones, dude.
Penguins is hockey.
Better for hockey when it is.
But with that being said, like, I'm sitting here like, all right, man, he is. I mean, I really do believe Mike Sullivan right now. I mean, there's some really good ones. I'm trying to think.
And a baby Sully!
Sully,
Bones.
what they've dealt with this year.
Bones is a legend.
I think that's Gumpy. You're looking good, buddy.
Not as good as you. You should see you right now. Have you seen you right now? You are awesome. I mean, Gumpy's certainly awesome.
He looks good.
Yeah,
that's smooth. It's a smooth look, buddy.
He's heading to Vegas.
Anyways, so he's this team was banged up. They've lost a lot of man games, a lot of important pieces. But here we are right now, and everybody's saying, don't sleep on the Penguins. This team can – before this season, and I'm telling you, across the board, they were very, very average at best in what everybody thought they'd be. Whoa. I didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs, and I covered the team. You know what I mean? So if you're covering the team and you're saying that, then there's a lot of things that are you have question marks about. This team, and I think having those big guys out, having Gino out, having Sid out, you're not a better team with those guys out, clearly. But what it does is they were missed so much star power. They had Brian Rust out, Jake Gensel was out. It makes you gotta sink or swim. And I think Sully's like, hey, what are we gonna do here? I mean, we got a lot of role player guys here right now. What the fuck are you guys gonna do about it? You know what I mean? And the guys responded, and so they had this foundation in that first half of the season that it was different. They were playing a different way, and they had this foundation that gave them a chance to win every night. So when those guys come back and they find your way to go, hey, don't change because Superman just walked in the room. We still got to do the same thing, and they have. And I find that he has been the most underappreciated coach in the NHL probably
ever.
And I'm not talking about when they won those back-to-back cups. Probably that was in 16, 17, probably 18, 19, 20, 21. What? He's been the most underrated coach in the league. He deserves more attention. I hate saying that because you guys are all Penguins.
No, we know hockey. When he was with the Baby Pens, too, he was fucking unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, he's come up through the Penguins system. He's been great all along. You know what I mean? When he was in Altoona or whatever, it's just unbelievable. What you just said?
Former Bruins coach, you guys didn't appreciate him. We'll take him.
Yeah, sorry.
A hockey trade just happened, I guess. The Florida Panthers are trading Frank Vatrano to the New York Rangers for a 4th-round pick this year. Official trade call hasn't happened. You literally just talked about the Florida Panthers being active and the New York Rangers having all their cap space. Are they getting rid of Frankie V to open up for somebody else down there in Florida, or is this the Rangers trying to just make some moves?
a nice name, isn't it? Frankie V. Yeah, it's a depth move. I think Frankie Vetrano is he can bounce around your lineup. He's speedy. He's not very big, but he makes things happen out there. So this isn't a huge deal for the Rangers, more of a depth move. But this is interesting to me because I think the Florida Panthers don't have as much cap space, so maybe they're trying to free some stuff up. I really think this Panthers team's going to try to do something huge. So maybe this is the start of just freeing up a little more cash and figuring things out. But stay tuned. I don't think the Rangers are done either. I mean, that's a very subtle move, which, you know what, that's the big thing too. The big moves come trade deadline time. They don't always pan out to be great. The great moves are those subtle ones, right? It's the no-name guy you get for a 4th-round pick that ends up scoring, 6 goals in the playoffs and it sets your team over the top. But stay tuned. I think this is going to start heating up.
Okay, we'll stay tuned. We'll watch tonight. That's Hockey Talk, 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. Thanks for showing up in the middle of your basketball run to chat with us about hockey and life. We appreciate the hell out of you, Rupper.
Hey, thanks, guys. Good talking to you. We'll talk later.
Stanley Cup champion, Las Vegas survivor, Mike Robb. Quickly here before we get to a break, the Colts have made a move. Whoa. That's right. After Chandler Jones signs with the Raiders, the Colts have traded for Yannick Ngakoue.
Wow.
Defensive lineman. The Colts are doing stuff. Allegedly, this has been in the works for the last 24 hours. The Raiders were just waiting until they could get another D lineman. They bring in Chandler Jones. The Colts get pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue, former Pro Bowler, absolute stud, sending cornerback Rocky Sin out of town. Does that mean we're adding another DB to the mix? Is Chris Ballard deciding to make some moves here on day 2? Day 3 of the free agency period. League year begins in an hour and 14 minutes. Let's assume more moves are going to happen. Shout out to the Colts.
There you go, Chris.
I mean, Chandler Jones would have been cool too.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess, if the Raiders are going to get him player for player, no picks, here we go, because we haven't got any fucking picks. We're back in 4 minutes, wrapping up hour 3 here on this 3/16 day.
What?
New league year day.
What?
March 16th. See you at 4. Bye. No music. Out of respect for the Intercontinental Championship,
wait a minute.
I was going to try to remain professional, but what are you doing out here? Why are you here?
Podcast? If you're going to main event WrestleMania with me? Get out of here. Get this guy out of here. Pat, come on. No, not this way, Pat. Come on, get some security down here. Pat, don't let him get to you. Pat, come on. God, somebody get out here. Do something. Pat, come on. Pat, come on. Enough, Pat. Pat, come on. Pat, come on. Pat, enough. Come on, enough. Pat, enough. Not like this. You're a pro, dude. Don't let that punt get to you. Just don't let him get to you, man. Not like that. You got him at Mania in a couple of weeks. Just let it be. Just let it be. See, now you got the security out here. That's how we're doing this. I hope you're ready. Come up here. That's a damn shame it had to happen like that. Pat's being escorted out by the security right now. Intercontinental.
Let's go! Hawks are soaring, baby. Dude, they're about to win by 35.
Live bet these dogs at FanDuel now.
That's a great idea. There's no need to be in this situation anymore because live betting at FanDuel has never been easier. You simply open the app, identify your location, and boom, find the game you want to put some action on. It's easier than it ever has been before with our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. And then comes the best part. We'll see you tomorrow! Let's fucking go! Thank you, FanDuel.
We have our Bracket Bonanza 2.0. Come and join us. Perfect bracket wins $1 million. Whoa! Winner of the overall Bracket Bonanza 2.0 will win 1 Bitcoin.
Okay.
Second place will win a lunch with Mitt.
Okay.
And a signed Baby Duke by all the boys. Third place wins just a signed Baby Duke by myself and all the boys. Come join us. You're the best. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on 316 Day. AJ Hawk joining us from a very elaborate and expensive cabin in the middle of the mountains somewhere out west.
Villa.
Tony Diggs is here. The Toxic Table is here. Tyler and the Vegas Golden Knights are dead, and the Boston Bruins stink at Boston Connor.
No, that is not what Rupper said. We're getting a hurdle, and he is going to take us to the cup.
Yeah, he might get you over a hurdle, but that hurdle is going to be way too big whenever you come into Pittsburgh.
Yeah, let's see if Pittsburgh makes it past the Rangers because the Rangers are making moves, and Pittsburgh isn't doing shit.
We got the Coach of the Year. We don't need to do shit, okay? We don't need that. Let's talk about what the Colts did. Yannick Ngakoue traded for Rocky Sin, cornerback. I guess Ngakoue cheaper than Chandler Jones, who just signed a deal with the Raiders. I guess the Colts and the Raiders have been discussing this for the last 24 hours. The Raiders had to lock in Chandler Jones before giving up a pass rusher, they said. This is like his 5th team in like 6 years. Hopefully he finds a home here. You get rid of Rocky Sin. Are we bringing in another corner? How you doing? Keep it moving. Welcome to Indianapolis. Gilly Lock, Stephon Gilmore, still available out there. What does this mean? Nobody knows, AJ Hawk.
No, Ngakoue is a super explosive, athletic dude if he can put it together. And like you said, I don't know what the reason is for being on however many teams in the last 5 or 6 years. He's been on multiple teams, but hey, if the dude can, I don't know, if he can. When he was a little bit younger, I feel like the dude he can be very, very good.
10 sacks last year.
What'd you just say? It sounds like you're dancing around. You're not a believer?
No, I'm not. I don't think he's like. I know he had 10 sacks last year, dude. Is that right?
Yeah.
5th team in the last 19.
Jeez Louise.
Yes, that's what I don't get. I don't understand because whenever I would watch this dude, like he can bend. He's one of those dudes that can turn the corner and bend, and he's crazy, like explosive. But I don't know why he's bounced around so much.
Nice little piece of information here from Siciliano. We appreciate that. And I think this culture, by the way, will be one that Ngakoue will fit in just fine. Remember, when he went from the Jaguars to the Vikings, something happened contractually. He goes to the Ravens. Then something happens. He ends up with the Raiders. Like some unfortunate shit took place, I believe.
Yeah, story like he was on the Jags for 4 years, and then the Vikings Ravens thing happened, and then he goes to the Raiders. Okay, and then they get a whole new coaching staff and scheme, and I believe his DC is now the Colts DC. I believe.
Feels like this guy's been victim of circumstance. Welcome to Indianapolis. Let's go.
There we go.
Chris Ballard making plays. This guy's in the game.
Hey, that dome though, I'm telling you, he gets on that fast turf, gets around that edge, dip that shoulder, like he can wreak some havoc for you.
It's a quick track. It's a quick track. Let's go to the 5 Energy Fund Line. Remember to go to 5energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to get 10% off your order of any of the beautiful original flavors that 5 Hour Energy has. I enjoy cherry. I'm on a cherry run right now.
Yeah?
Cherry's very delicious. So is watermelon.
Tropical berry.
I love watermelon.
You got any of those out there dealing with Axel, hot springs, poop, and skiing?
I haven't had any 5 hours, unfortunately, but I'm with Connor. I like the, the tropical fruit or the mixed fruit.
You don't even know the name of it. Are you shitting me, AJ?
Let's go to Irvin in Nebraska. What's going on, Irvin?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Irvin?
Oh, I'm a Saints fan, just ready to talk Deshaun Watson, future quarterback. Just excited to see it happen. It's coming. I promise you.
Hey, hold on, Irvin, real quick. You know, a lot of people say, like, if they get out of the building, they're probably not going there. Like, when people are either being courted, they go in there and the deal doesn't get done, they're out of the building, probably in trouble. Already met with the Saints, meeting with the Falcons, who he already reached out to, and the Cleveland Browns one went well. Why are you so sold that he's going to end up with the Saints, and are you inevitably going to be let down, you think, Irvin?
So, number one, Deshaun Watson's a smart man. You got to check out all your options. I know, it's good. It's a good sign if they don't leave your building, but he's smart. He knows he's got to check out what's out there. And, the Browns are talented, but that's AFC. You got to be iffy with the Texans on that. And the Falcons, they're going to, sign me to play wide receiver for them because they lost Russell Gage and they don't have Calvin Ridley because he's on FanDuel because you keep promoting it and whatnot.
Whoa. Maybe. Maybe the Saints is a desirable location, but I just assume whenever you take all those meetings, it's because you haven't found the place that you like yet. But maybe he is just doing his due diligence. This is the first time in his entire career where he's had a chance to see what anything else is like. He's been wanting to do this for now 2 years, pre all the allegations and a grand jury non-indictment. Maybe he'll take his time. I'm excited to see what happens with him. He changes an entire program as soon as he gets there.
Yeah, well, he does that, but also, with what you have to give up to get him, too, it changes your program years down the road.
And the Saints don't seem to care, right? They just kick the can down the road anyways. Right. So maybe they are a team that's in there. Atlanta with that Matt Ryan contract, they might feel good to get out from underneath that thing if they bring him in. The Browns look like they're ready to go. The Deshaun watch will continue into tomorrow, it feels like. The new league year is in an hour and 4 minutes. What will happen? We'll chat about it tomorrow. Chris Mad Dog Russo, who was on First Take this morning, will join you in about 6 minutes. His show will be better than ours. See you in 21 hours. Cheers. Yeah. Bang. Yeah. First 2 hours, not great. But that last one, they'll write books about it.
That's right. Saving up for it.
I even plugged them on First Take earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a good promo there. AJ?
How'd he do today? I love him on First Take.
Him and Steven are yelling at each other.
Pretty pissed about Brady not announcing
on my program
his retirement
on Jim Gray on my show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Is this Chris Mad Dog Russo? Who got the bag? Somebody in the NFL just got paid. Adam Schefter is reporting. Jets are giving quarterback Joe Flacco.
Oh, shit.
Quick feet. Quick
Footsteps
Flacco. A 1 year, $3.5 million deal plus incentives per source. He was on the Jets last year, right?
Yeah. Yes.
He came in lieu of somebody who was an insurance salesman the week before then, and they played.
Mike White.
Joe Flacco has had such an interesting, kind of career. Obviously gets paid $100 million by the Ravens after winning a Super Bowl, goes to the Broncos, becomes a quarterback, and speaks up for his locker room for the first time publicly. They say, "You're hurt. Get the fuck out of here." He's at the Jets bouncing around, backing up Zach Wilson. The Jets have obviously an entire new culture they're trying to build. Keep Joe Flacco, the old grizzled veteran, around. Good for Joe Flacco, good for the Jets. And CJ Uzomah goes to the Jets, leaving the Bengals. Look at the Jets kind of dabbling a little bit, keeping their team intact.
Yeah, don't they have a bunch of draft picks too, don't they?
Yes.
They do.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
They have multiple first rounders?
Yes.
Do they? I knew the Giants did. Jets also have two?
Yeah. Philly has 3, I think.
4 in the first 36, I believe.
Wow. And he didn't go, 58. 38 or 58? 4 in the first 58 picks, I think, is what it was whenever Bob Saleh decided not to go to the Combine. I think that was the number. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, they can make some moves here. They can really do it. And they keep Joe Flacco around, I assume, just to have a good backup on your team. You see the Giants do that with Tyrod Taylor. The Dolphins did that with Teddy Bridgewater. Mitchell Trubisky has Mason Rudolph, obviously, backing him up in Pittsburgh. Having a good backup is always a good plan, especially if you have some money to do it and draft picks to do it. I don't know if this makes the Jets a contender, but I'm sure they're pumped about it. And good for Flacco, still fucking slinging that thing around.
Well, good for the Jets.
Nice sound, but somebody's getting the bag. Somebody else got signed. The Raiders are giving pass rusher. Oh, we already knew this, but Chandler Jones' deal is now 3 years worth $51 million No, $51 million altogether. Okay. As of now, that's top of the pass rush market in free agency. This is via Rappaport. What's the actual money?
Yeah.
Ian?
Rap sheet.
Well, that $51 million is the total. What is the actual money earned, Rappaport? I'm going to text him right now. Hey, what's the money earned?
30.
For
It says ...
Chandler,
at the end of it. Is that his next tweet?
Chandler Jones, as opposed to the overall big number if he cures COVID. If he cures COVID.
Good point.
Oh,
Because he might.
oh, he just texted me. Damn it. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Rapport.
Gotcha.
Everybody, $150 million earned in the first 3 years of that contract for him. But congrats to Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
Couple years now, he's been trying to get paid. Remember last offseason, once they brought in J.J. Watt, there was allegedly some contract dispute between owner of Cardinals and Chandler Jones. He comes out, has 5 sacks in the first week, and then just continues to do what he's done for like the last 10 years, which is just dominate. Good for the Raiders saying, hey, this is going to be a pillar guy that we got out here. I'm happy for Chandler getting his money. We don't know what it actually is, but the overall contract is worth $51 million.
Colts had that money, right?
Oh, yeah. We don't have a quarterback, though.
But he and Max Crosby, though, coming off opposite edges, like that's huge.
Yeah, that is big.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that's if you get a lead, too. So they're going to try to play with a lead, right, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Because they can run the ball with Josh Jacobs.
Man,
Well,
that's
I think
scary. The games and stunts you can run with those guys, too. They're so athletic and they play so hard. Like, it's scary thing about blocking both those guys. I'd put them both on the same side every once in a while. That'd be really fun.
Let that guard and tackle figure it out. Who are you going to chip? How are you going to chip? How are you going to sort this? And then, by the way, somebody probably sneaks back door there because all the attention going to the right or to the left. You're right. Hey, that's good defensive strategy. I'm sure Josh McDaniels will do that.
think about the division, Bosa and Khalil Mack, and then you got those two at the Raiders, and then you got Chubb and Gregory at Denver. They're trying to get to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, this is just like whenever Super Mario was drafted by the Texans over Reggie Bush because Casserly?
Yeah, Charlie Casserly.
Charlie Casserly said, I'm trying to tackle Peyton fucking Manning. Okay, I'm not trying to run the ball. I am trying to tackle Manning. He inevitably got fired because of that decision at the Texans because he took Mario Williams over Reggie Bush, and it was something like, "How are you doing this? How are you doing this?" He came out. He was like, "I understand what you guys are trying to do. I'm trying to beat the fucking Colts, and we got to tackle Peyton Manning." The division matchups shape how teams are built for sure. That's why this AFC West with Russ in there and Patrick in there and Herbert in there, you're going to see a lot of action over there. I'm pretty excited for the AFC West. And if you're a fan in the AFC West, look forward to great football. And if you're an NFL fan with no ties to any of them, you're even more pumped because we don't have to sweat it out on who's going to make it out of the fucking AFC West.
Yeah, your point about like shaping the teams based on the division. The Patriots are going so much smaller at linebacker because Josh Allen basically runs, running around everywhere.
Catch
and also,
up.
yeah, and we got killed against the Bills because their slot, Isaiah McKenzie, was just so much faster than our linebackers. So to what you were just saying, that's exactly what Bill's doing right now with our entire basically secondary side from J.C. Jackson.
So maybe that's why we're not getting a quarterback. Because the Titans, they just run
the football.
The Jags are the Jags.
And Texans.
Texans.
Stink.
So maybe we're just saying we don't need a quarterback.
Well, you were saying, though, Pat, earlier, you were saying it's very, you need to have a good backup quarterback. It's always very smart and safe. But what if you not only don't have a backup, you don't have a starter?
All right.
What does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It means it's hard to get free agents, I'd assume, unless you trade for people.
Yeah, sure.
Get a great defense, though. Hey, what if you get Matthew? If it's not Gilmore, throw Tyrann Matthew back there.
He's at Disneyland right now.
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
Some people are saying it's Kennywood, but
Tyrann Matthews at Kennywood?
well,
Did he stop by a potato patch?
judging by the picture, I can't tell. I mean, I don't know how many palm trees Kennywood's got this time of year. But
Oh, no, they dress it up. Halloween, they dress it up. Spring, they
There's
dress
a lot
it
of people
up.
saying it could be Kennywood. Is what I've seen on the internet.
For those that don't know, Kennywood is an amusement park in Pittsburgh. It's the greatest amusement park in the tri-state area.
Thank you. Maybe even the world.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that looks like Pittsburgh.
No, yeah, that's
Is
the
that
pit.
Is that the Thunderbolt back there?
Yeah, I think so. That's the longest wooden roller coaster that's still operable at Kennywood right there in the back.
Gorgeous.
Wow. That sun, too, that's actually a dome they built because there's no sun in Pittsburgh.
No, yeah.
Not today, no.
Still no sun over there. Oh, fuck. Should we just sit around for the next 56 minutes to see what happens here, or should we get the fuck off the air?
Are the Packers still the only team above the?
There was a tweet I just saw from Spotrac that he thinks everyone's under now.
Spotrick?
What's his name?
Mr. Bobby Spotrac.
Dave Spotrick.
Zito just said he's an Italian guy, actually. So it would
Really?
be Spazzarchini.
Oh, had to change it.
Yeah.
Probably because the Irish were bothering him too much.
Goddamn right.
Hey, listen, Luigi Spazzarchini.
Oh.
Okay, this guy, he knows the details of contracts better than anybody.
Hell yeah.
He's got Fazolinis right next to him.
Piping hot breadsticks.
Some of those chicken parm nuggets.
Yep, he would never.
And then he's just going through the. His name's actually Michael Giannetti, as Zito's telling me.
Marty Jannetty's brother?
No, Michael. Yeah, Michael Giannetti, not Giannetti. Not Giannetti.
Thought maybe he was a rocker.
Yeah, those guys.
Probably is.
Hey, what's going on with your outfit, Goompy? What's happening? Is this a day I don't know about?
What are you talking about?
What are you
What's
talking
special?
about?
Are you just wanting to look sweet today, or what is it?
Try and look sweet every day, AJ.
Thanks, AJ. Welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Welcome.
You do. I know he does. Goop always looks good, but I'm just wondering today. It seems like he stepped it up a notch.
Yeah, I do really like this shirt, if we're being honest. It's pretty sweet.
What is that, Tropic Bros?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What a company. They sponsor the pod, so you know they're a ridiculous company just from top to bottom. If they get into bed with the pod. So got nothing but respect for the Tropic Bros shirt that Gumpy has fallen in love with here. Shout out to Tropic Bros.
Shout out. They did hate my read one time.
They did.
And they said, hey, read the fucking sheet of paper,
Hey,
pal.
they sent a State Farm response to the ad. Hey, tell the Bugler boys to shut the fuck up.
Look at your shirts, dude.
Well, that's kind of what the pod did say back.
Right.
And Tropic Bros was like, all right, fair enough. So, good relationship, Tropic Bros.
Yeah, shout out.
Tropic
I
Bros.
respect it.
Great shirts. That's like an athletic fit, too. Like, he can work out in that and it'll breathe, right?
Feels good.
Golf.
It's a good golf shirt.
Yeah. All right. All right. Shout out to them.
You look good today, too, AJ.
Thanks, Gump. I wasn't looking for that. I just want to tell you look good.
Oh, you're fishing for compliments.
Not
That's
like
crazy.
this.
Oh,
Interesting.
makes sense.
Oh, AJ.
Hair looks like shit.
Is
This
Gump
is a
on the
hoodie I wear 4 out of 5 days of the week, even though you've never seen me wear it. This jacket, I wear it every single day. What are you talking about, dude?
Why?
This ain't my ski costume. This is everyday costume, even though I'm out in the fucking mountains in the West, dude. That's what you said to us the other day, dressed like a fucking asshole. Like, hey, why you dress? What? This is how I dress every day. What are we even talking about? We see you every day.
Face was all red from skiing. Wind
Yeah.
was all, hair was all
Six
wind
fucking
blown.
coats.
Couldn't stand up because he was in a half squat on the bunny hill. Oh, man, what a day. What a day. You're the best. Clark Harris re-signs with the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow. Had a baby Clark. Long snapper, been there for a long time. Incredible flow that he has. Incredible flow with the Bengals long snapper. I'm a big fan of his. Big fan of him as a person and as a long snapper. I don't know what they're doing with Huber. I don't know if Huber's a free agent, but they bring back, a very constant, consistent, great for them over there. He and Evan McPherson were being talked about for watching the halftime show. And they're like, well, everybody was making it a big deal, on the internet. Evan McPherson's so savage, he stayed out there to watch it. It was like, I think Evan was probably going back out there to warm up. And then he was told, you're not allowed on the field. So he said, all right, I'm not walking 4 miles back to the locker room. I'll just wait for this thing to end. And then we didn't talk about it, by the way, because I knew that, the angle of a kicker just watching the halftime show as opposed to being with his team is not a good one. Allegedly, there's some Bengals coaches that are upset about it because he didn't go in the locker room. It's like, I don't think that's the case that happened. I think the internet's kind of blowing this into a different proportion. I remember watching The Who. I was bombing balls over their backs, but I don't think Dr. Dre was letting anybody kick any balls behind them at the time. Clark's a legend, though. Another long snapper also got signed, I believe. Chargers are signing Pro Bowl long snapper Josh Harris away from the Falcons on a 4-year, $5.6 million deal with $1.92 million guaranteed. Let's go. Wow. Congrats to Josh. Happy for you, pal. Over $1 million a year to long snap. It is not a easy job. It is a very difficult job. Tom Pelissero reporting that news. It's all literally minute inches on whether or not a long snapper is great or just good, whether they make it in the NFL or they don't. How are your laces? How's your placement on punts? Can you block and can you cover? You have to be able to do 3 out of those 4 very good. Some things can let up for other things, but once you start fucking up in a couple different categories, you're out of there quick. This dude's getting paid over $1 million a year. I'm pumped for it.
Hell yeah.
Now, that is Brandon Staley saying, we did kick field goals once we got Dustin Hopkins and a much better special teams crew, okay? So that's him focusing a little bit in something he might have seen as a weakness or trying to get better. Congrats to him signing there. All right, 51 minutes until all the rosters have to be set. salary cap friendly. We'll keep an eye on that. Hammer Down will be in about 20 minutes at 3:30, I'd assume, at youtube.com/Hammer Down. Hockey Talks tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. You guys are having some guy I never heard of on.
Yeah, Kadri.
He was really good on 24/7 HBO when the Leafs played somebody in an outdoor game about 7 years ago.
Yep. Now he's on Colorado. He's one of the top point getters in the league. Great player.
Ever play for the Pens?
Nope. Can't afford him.
His dad's electric, though.
Can't afford him.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Neither can you, you
This might have
scumbag.
to
Well, that's because we're going after Hurdle.
I'm not selling a team. Okay?
I already did.
Speaking of, thanks to TJ Lane coming on talking football. His hockey talk is stupid. Okay, he's just like you, Foxy.
I disagree.
Notice how we didn't even let you ask a question.
That was awesome.
It's like, hey, can we get a minor hockey league question from Evan Fox? That we ran out of time for that, so we apologize for that. TJ was great on this show. I love that dude.
TJ's awesome. Yeah, he gets it.
Why don't we do more with TJ? What happened? What is that all about?
I don't know. Why not?
I honestly don't know. I was thinking that this morning.
He was attacking all of us online.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did bury Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did.
No, that's not.
No, he did not bury Pittsburgh.
He said
he buried 7.
Which is burying.
And he called you guys sensitive.
And he said, yeah.
Does it all the time.
All right.
That's what he
A
did.
lot of projecting from Detroit right now.
Well,
all right.
It's a grittier city.
What are you guys doing? Staring at a mirror while you're talking? Huh? Is that what you're saying?
Built the fucking country, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, we're the car capital. It's like, what metal are you using? You're welcome.
Exactly.
You fucking came from our womb.
Yeah.
How many cars?
We
you
are
making up
your
there?
daddy and your mommy and the only reason you exist.
What?
The Bucks have restructured Shaq Barrett's contract to create some cap space for the team, per Drew Rosenhaus reporting Ian Rappaport. Shaq Barrett, obviously incredible off the edge, an absolute stud. Tom Brady has hit the phones recruiting all the free agents back to Tampa Bay, allegedly. Jensen has come back. Shaq Barrett's redoing his thing. There is more to come is what is circulating around the NFL. Tom Brady has hit the phones and said, hey, let's go. Let's run this thing back. We can't end it the way we did last time. There's a lot of unrestricted free agents that they're going to have to make moves on, but somehow Mike Greenberg, their salary cap guru, will somehow be able to make it work, just like doing what he just did with Shaq Barrett, AJ.
Yeah, so is everyone assuming that Gronk is coming back as well to the Bucks?
We would assume, yeah. We would assume.
Probably what that space is for. And Fournette.
And then they got a bunch more, too.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Still got Godwin. Still got Evans.
Yeah.
You bring back Gronk. You got Jensen.
AB's got to come back now.
No, they just signed Russell Gage actually from the Falcons.
Yeah, because the Falcons lost him, which everybody's talking about maybe why Deshaun won't want to go to Atlanta.
He was a very good third wide receiver.
They got Shaq Mason from New England. They got Jensen back. They still got, what's-his-face, a tackle who's up. Wirfs is there.
Cam Brate just reworked his contract to stay for 2 years, too.
The Bucks are all the way back.
Yeah. What's OJ?
Hard?
I almost said OJ Mayo. OJ Hard.
I don't know. Is he still on the deal?
I saw something earlier in the week that said it was very likely that he's going to be gone.
Remember, whenever this whole thing started, OJ was like, hey, whoa, I'm a pretty good player. And then he's found a great spot. He was good on our show.
Yeah, he was. Tore his Achilles.
Hey, can you put those free agents that are still available up? And obviously some of them might be different, but this is who we're keeping our eyes on for the next fucking 24 hours until our next show. There's a lot of great players still out there. Armstead, I don't know why he isn't a Colt already. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. Maybe he's just chilling until training camp?
That makes sense. Maybe. He's probably looking for the max as well.
Trent Brown, too. Why isn't he a fucking Indianapolis Colt?
I'm not sure. They were talking about a lot of the Patriots moves, saving cap to re-sign him, and he's talked about wanting to stay in New England. But so
so J.C. Jackson and Tom Brady.
Gilmore.
Or
Brady said no.
Odell Beckham Jr., come on over to Indianapolis. You love L.A.
Yeah.
We don't have a quarterback yet.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of great players out there, AJ. We'll keep our eyes on all of them, won't we?
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see where the Honey Badger goes, man.
Yeah.
I think he would be a big asset.
Honey Bear.
Wagner, too.
Von Miller, too. He was supposed to go back to Denver or back to L.A.
There was a report today, I think it was from Rapp, that it's not done yet, but the Rams seem to be the favorite right now. Something along those lines.
All right,
For
well,
Vaughn.
hey, make sure you join our Bracket Bonanza.
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow talking more bullshit. Hammer Down starts in about 16 minutes. The new league year begins in 46 minutes. Can't wait to see what happens. We appreciate you all. AJ, enjoy that vacation.
Will do.
Big thanks to Rupper. What a legend.
Yeah.
Beast.
What was he wearing that headband for? What was that all about?
March Madness. He's got the bug.
He's got the fever.
Oh, for basketball.
Mhm.
I thought he was playing deck hockey.
Could have been.
Warming up.
Pittsburgh sport, by the way. Another one. Deck hockey, we're the best at it in the world.
That's true.
So
It's not a professional sport.
we got to.
No one cares about deck.
Sorry.
People lace up the skates.
Boston's actually very good at it too.
Yeah, but see, you wouldn't catch me dead bragging about it because it's not a real sport.
Yeah, except for you talk about lacrosse.
I never talk about lacrosse.
Yeah, you yuppies talk about your sailing and your lacrosse.
I ain't talking
All right,
about
we'll
the
talk
Boston
about deck
Cannons.
hockey and actual hockey.
Oh,
That's
well,
our sport.
Nick just said we're the best at it, so.
No, you're also good.
And he said we're also the best at that.
No, you
See you tomorrow. This show is fucking worse. Joiner Bonanza. Tonight, we like Pete Kiss.
Yes.
Boom. 26 points. Couple thousand on him. Let's
Can
go,
we get that
cuz.
boosted?
What?
Can we get that boosted?
Somebody send a text.
Send the text.
Send the text.
Somebody send a text.
FanDuel.
FanDuel. We'll text them. They're not watching.
No.
They got stuff going on. We will text them, though. Let them know. Happy 316 Day. Go ahead and honor the guy. Self-cheers yourself. Enjoy yourself. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. We will have a St. Patrick's Day celebration on this show right here. See you then. Bye.